Hello everybody, Alexander Smith on YouTube. How yous all doing? Coming live at yous. Top kitties. I don't know what happened last night because there wasn't many come in, so I decided I might as well try today and see if maybe there was something about the timing where I had the timing wrong or not. So who knows? But then I think we'll start off with putting some under the microscope and then we'll see who comes in and then we'll have a discussion. Because I need to find out why that yesterday there was hardly anybody that came to the stream, and the whole thing was to have fun and have a crack with everybody else, as in it likes to do coins. So there's 1951, and this is from a roll that was sent from spray can, and as you can see, it's probably commercial grade, so not worth a lot. That one. And the next one is slightly a bit better, which is 1945. Because whoever's the lurker, I'm basically doing this so that people start talking in the chat and we can hang out or whatever, and whoever wants to come on the panel can come on the panel, and also we can do the wheel as well, because that was the whole idea, was to do part mail call and part wheel, and there was only one person that picked for the wheel itself, or the not the wheel but the mail call, and the mail call got done, and there was not a lot of many people joined, but I think that was because Durban auction was on, and after Durban auction it was coin op, which was Robert Lawson, so that's why. But after it went quiet, I decided to back up as in tours after tours. And there's a 1946. Because after 58, it changed, the reverse design changed, and it wasn't the Wheaties anymore. But I'm just doing the microscope now, so we can wait for some people to show up, and then we will change from there. Because as the title says, I thought I picked the right day. I thought I picked the right day by picking the Friday, the Friday, because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is when everybody is not at work, and I thought that that would be the best days to pick so that everybody could join in. Plus, also, as in one of the mods, which is Andrew Cooper, so that Andrew could then join in as well, as in not miss the streams. And that was the whole idea behind it. Because I spoke to Andrew, we had to talk about it. Andrew works during the week, so basically, I decided that the weekend would be probably the best. I don't know if I've upset people, I don't know if I've offended somebody, and maybe that's why. And there's an email going around, I don't know. So I'm just doing my own thing and trying to make something work. So I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to upset. I'm not trying to upset people. I do follow a lot of different community. I follow a lot of different communities on YouTube because I support them, because I believe in the people. I believe in what they do. They're good friends, and also they're good with what they do in their channels. Plus, their video content's good. I just didn't want to be left. I just didn't want to be left out. I felt left out because the reason why I started doing YouTube was because in my eyes, because I had isolated myself for so long, and I was feeling as if I was going to go into a mental breakdown, and that's why I started YouTube for, was to come out of that mental breakdown or not go to that stage, because I've been there a few times and I know how it feels. If people want to talk about their mental health, as in I'm not a mental health guru, I talk about my own mental health, how it affects, how I feel when it affects me. If other people want to talk about that kind of stuff, that's fine. As long as it's kept clean, the conversation, I don't mind. I know there's a lot of others. I know there's a few channels running at the moment, as in with live streams doing different things. I wouldn't say that's the prettiest looking thing on the planet. And then it depends on the person itself. Because that 5 looks different up there, as it looks as if it's got another bit on it, or underneath it. I don't know. It's not. Because this is what I'll usually do, is buy a roll, and then I don't check it for errors. I'm checking the actual how good the coin is, and the reason why other people like to see coins, and that's why I put them under a microscope, because I feel that I can show them better as in underneath the microscope. I don't search errors and varieties. If something catches my eye, I'll remark on it, or I'll put my opinion across about it. I'm not a coin specialist. I've been honest about that with people, as in that I'm not a coin specialist. I like buying coins at auction because I get the buzz of the auction, as in buying from auction. I do exactly what my father used to do, as in used to buy cars up from the auction or from the market. He used to call it the market, buy them up for the market, and then do them up and make them nice and pretty and all the rest. It was him that taught me about presentation. Presentation sells itself. Some people like the cruddy. Some people like the cruddy coins. Some don't. Some don't. I usually sit and pick through what I like them to be, or if I'm not happy with something, I'll put it to one side. But then the age of these is thing as in from 19 whatever to 1957 for 50, sorry, 1958. It depends how how long they've been lying about for and what condition they were sitting, what kind of conditions as in climate they were sitting in, which causes all that on the coins. And a lot of the wheats are weather beaten. I don't see anybody talking in the chat. I see two people, two people watch, two people watching. If you don't like the if you don't like the content, don't watch it. I don't ask you to be here. I'm trying to figure out what I've done wrong, or is it because I'm not consistent enough? Is that what it is that you want? Because at the moment I'm trying to do two projects. I don't have a lot of money coming in. I have what as in that I'm allowed, which I'm entitled to, because I'm not as in working full time. I've told you, I've been honest with you all. If somebody wants to ask something, ask me. Sometimes it's better coming for the horse's, hearing it for the horse's mouth, and then instead of hearing a load of rumours about somebody and going in the rumours. I'd rather go to the horse's mouth and speak to them, speak to that person. You find out a lot about that person if they want to open up, if you feel comfortable enough with answering their questions. The channel isn't the channel isn't monetized. It doesn't earn money. It doesn't earn money for the videos or the live streams. I do a live stream because I like to be around people. I like the company. That's why I say about the open panels. Don't stop people coming up in open panels. I've got to get you eyes and I've got to know that you're a genuine person, or I know you through somebody, or I know you through somebody else, or somebody can vouch for you. Because I don't want drama on this channel. If there's drama on the channel, it's me that's caused it. It's me that's caused the drama, nobody else. And nobody can get accused of stuff. I'm not accusing anybody, and I'm just saying, because it's just funny how that everybody's now streaming on a Friday and a Saturday. That's a coincidence. That one. That some people's changed their days around. It used to be busy during the week, as in what these different live streams. Because basically, Andrew was a client. Andrew was a client and became a valued friend. We, we sometimes we tend to speak messenger and keep in contact with each other. And I didn't want him me feeling missed out because he's part of the he's part of the channel, like the rest of yous are. There's supposed to be over at least over 1,000 supporters on the channel. It's funny how there's no many people now that come to the channel. But is that because it's not consistent enough? As in with the videos? Sometimes I just don't have the heart, sometimes I don't have the content, or I don't think it's feasible, the content that I'm going to put out. So I tend to not put the content out because it doesn't. If I've not got the heart for, if I've not got the heart in it, there's no point in me coming on. That's why, because my mood's go up and down. I've got to be in the right frame of mind to do these live streams. I need the space at the moment. Try to do 2 projects at once. Because I don't know if Bill still does a Saturday. Bill used to do a Saturday, and that's what he used to do. Just go through coins, go through pennies. Because I'll probably go back through these again and throw the ones that I don't like to the side. Because I don't like that gummy part there. Hi Richard. And there's another bit there. It puts me off. Because I tend to throw that for me. I wouldn't put that into my collection as in because of that there, that tar spot. But some other people might let it go. How are you anyway, Richard? How's your week been? Why is that looking a different colour underneath that? I don't get that. When you look at it as without the microscope, it looks brown, but then it looks more like it looks more steel. Or is it because the top layers wore off it? Because a wheat's made up, I think, with different metals. A wheat. I think, why does it look like that? Or is it the light that's just playing because it's under the fluorescent underneath the microscope? That's what's causing it to look like that. No, because if you stay, guys, as in we'll do the spin the wheel, and you don't. I don't ask yous for money, as in as in to go on the wheel. If you want to put a donation into the kitty, as in the shipping pot fund, you're more than welcome to. If you want to help, as in for the shipping cost for stuff coming back over again. UK has got UK or Scotland has got the same coins as what the English has got what the English has got. I've never seen a lot of Scottish coins. The only coin that I know that they ever put a design on is the reverse was the 5 pence and the 10 pence, which they put the Scottish thistle on it. So I don't remember any Scottish coins. As in you see a lot of Scottish notes, like the Clydesdale Bank and the Royal Bank of Scotland, as in which is as in part of Scotland. But it's more the because England, you've got England, Scotland, England, Ireland, and Wales. And Ireland used sterling, as in their notes said sterling on it. So the notes said differently, but the coins didn't. The Irish had their own coins, but the English, as in, basically overpowered, and the coins were the exact same that was coming into Scotland, the 50 pence coins and the £2 coins. So I can get the £2 coins and I can get the 50 pences if anybody wants them. I'm not going to start doing as in coin hunts unless everybody starts wanting stuff. Because I don't see the point in specialising trying to buy American stuff and then trying to do British at the same time. I have a 5 gallon jug of copper wheat pennies from pocket change 30 years ago. I started putting them, of course. It's not that difficult to. Exactly, Richard. Because I've got to ship them. I've got to ship them over to Scotland because that's where I'm based in the United Kingdom. But I felt welcome. Richard. I felt welcome within the USA coin community. They made me feel welcome, and that's why. But it was the buzz of the auction. I started buying stuff off of SG at the start, and then SG got frightened how much stuff she was going to have to ship over here. As in, I don't know if there's a law or something, and she got scared. That's when I moved over to Lemonhead Penny, but I knew Joe through Lemonhead. That's why I buy stuff off of Joe, because I know it's. But I trust all the USA family within the coin community. There's nobody that's bad or give you a counterfeit coin. No, no intentionally. Because I know the counterfeits, there is counterfeits out there, as in your coins. The same as what they used to do with the pound coins. They used to fake them as well. I think that's why they stopped. They changed all the design and everything. Because they took the old £1 coin out of circulation. So they did, and put a newer one in. But it's totally changed the pound coin itself. It's got like a gold. It's got like a gold section in the middle of the pound coin. And then they're going to start changing over the design as well. Your family was originally from Scotland. What part of Scotland? Do you know? Because my mum's originally from, she's part Irish. But my father's originally was born and bred in Scotland. But I don't know if my great grandfather come down from Aberdeen. I don't understand why that's playing up. I can see light or something I can see it on the. I don't know if it's this, if it's just the microscope that's doing it, or whether it's all Chromebook I'm using. I need to put a new Chromebook up and running. Keep saying I'll do it, and it causes my Gmail account's being cleared out. It's full of blooming emails. Richard, it would be nice to find out. It would be nice to find out, buddy, as in exactly where your side of the family, as in your family tree, because then you could know exactly what part of Scotland. Because Scotland's quite a big area, buddy. You go all the way up by Aberdeen, and you get the Isle of Skye, and you get Gretna Green. You get Gretna Green as well. I didn't even know that was in there. 1940s. That's steel. That's definitely steely. I don't know about that other 41 or that 40. Don't know. Not a clue. I know that's definitely because you took all the copper. No, because these ones are for spray. These ones are for spray can. Trying to help in different places. Try to help people out. Because everybody's trying to make a living. And then you get the financial crisis as in with the lockdown. And it hit the world. It hit the world bad, I think. Because I get people that's friend requesting me like woman, and then they're asking, "Can you help me out? Can you spare £20? £20? I watch this one. Don't have enough money to support myself. Just because I gave up smoking. So I was like, well, I need to have some kind of addiction. See, a lot of the other ones that I had as in the rolls, the spotty ones, I threw them all away. I threw most of them away. Or I didn't throw them away, I put them back in tubes and says, right, that's no good. They usually take out the really nice ones. Because the other ones that I went through with those spots and the rest on them, I basically says, right, that's no good for to send anybody. But the thing is, and I would need to send them to somebody for them to take them into the bank to ditch them. Because there's no a coin, there is a coin store over here. There is a coin star over here, but it wouldn't take foreign coins in it. It's only for British, the coin star one. I know there's one up in Morrison's. If I put them coins in, it would reject them straight away. That's not the best looking either. There's one that looks like dark. That's a nice one actually. That's not a bad one actually. Because I know Bill used to do, I know Bill used to do this. Bill 457 used to do this on a Saturday. It was round about this time. It was round about this time. I haven't seen Bill for quite a while. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Bill that was lurking. If it was Bill that was lurking. No, because I do want to do the wheel. I want to open up the wheel. Because you need to pick Richard as in a number, as in either number 1 or number 12, since you're in the chat. Because I need to mark you in the book. Because I need to mark you in the book. Because I mark it on the books and the notepad. So I know who was in when. Because I don't ask for money for a spot or for the spot. That's definitely, that looks like damage. That looks definitely like damage to me. That. Looks as if it's been run over. Looks as if it's been run over. That's what it looks like. But where would they have been getting put for that to get that kind of damage on it? It'd need to have been in some kind of machine or something. As in maybe a penny gumball machine, possibly. Getting turned. Because that's what it looks like, as if that's where it's got the gouge from. Because there's a wheel mechanism there's a wheel mechanism inside a gumball machine, and if it had been tight with that coin, as in even although that it wasn't damaged at the time, it could have been damaged in a gumball machine, as in it's caught. That's the cog, as in as it was turning and caught it, and as it was pulling it in, because it's got to pull it in a gumball mechanism. When you turn the handle of the gumball machine, inside it's got cogs on it. And I wonder if the cog got caught, as in it was tight, or there's been a penny, another 1 cent jammed slightly in it, and it's caught it. And as it's caught it, it's gouged right into that. That's what it looks like, as if it's gouged right there on that corner edge. Looks as that's where it starts, that corner edge. And it's ripped it, as in it's caught it. That would be caused in a gum. I would reckon that's definitely that would be my explanation for that coin. That was caught in a gumball machine. Because it'd be a penny gumball machine back then. Because you had penny chews and all that, but they used to do, it was more gumballs over, I think, in America. And I've seen the gumball machines, but I've seen a lot of the older type gumball machines, and they're worth good money if you get a hold of one. And ding me, as in an old one back in the 30s, 40s, because the globe, because a lot of them get damaged, as in the actual globe that the gumball sat in. That's something about my imagination. I'm going back years, because that's what my dad used to do. Was go back to when he was a child, as in he was born in 40. He was born in 48. So dad goes right back to when he was a boy and what he got up to at school. There's parts of his childhood that he can't remember. But then he starts talking about, as in the old type when you went into the old sweetie shop and all that car on. And back then, money was money. Back then, in late 40s and 50s. because you used to explain as in the what the value of a certain coin would be in our money today. That's what got me thinking. But I was always one for history. I was quite interested with history because I like to know why something works and how it works. So I've got quite a good imagination, and I was just thinking there on. But sometimes I do that. Sometimes I tend to think out loud when I'm in the chat, as in pupils, and sometimes I might say something and not actually mean it, not thinking about it at the time, and just come out with it because I'm trying to understand the differences. Because usually when I get the depression, I get these negative thoughts and I start over analysing things. Exactly, Richard. That's why I was like, it's got because I was like that damage, as in how it's sustained that damage, and then I was like, hold on a minute, and I was like trying to think back, and then that's when I thought penny gumball, because it's got basically a turning handle, hint it. So a turning handle, we put the penny in, you drop the penny in where the opening was. You put the penny in, and then you turn the cranking hand. You turn the cranking handle to give you four or five gumballs. And if it had been tight, that cog, a child wouldn't have. It'd have wanted the gumballs out. Because that's how a lot of the show people work. That's how you see all the flashing lights and all that, because it's to attract you, to draw you in. The music and that, as in the machines working with the Funfair family. Because Dad kept telling me we were off the Funfair family, but I don't know what's true or not. Well, we were partly off the Funfair family, show family. I don't know. Dad was good at selling. I'm wondering maybe that's where the parties come from. That he wasn't talking bullshit. Because he used to tell stories, but he would fabricate them. So you didn't know if he was just telling a story or whether it was true or not. And sometimes I used to wonder about his stories. Because one minute he'd be talking about riding a horse and cart with vegetables on it. So it was on the part on a farm. Well, I started asking my auntie questions, which would be his sister. And that's when I found out about my great grandfather was a horse-drawn tram driver. So I found out that bit. But my granddad used to bring out a projector, and me and Mum were talking about it the other day. And Mum says that would have been family holidays that they would have had snaps of, and maybe it went into a roll, as in the projector roll, and he'd put it all together. But a lot of it was on black, and when he pulled it out, a lot of the stuff was in black and white. And I know he used to put this, it was like a sound machine, like a speaker, but it's talking about years back, and I can't remember. That's how I can see. Sometimes I get these dreams, and it's like flashbacks to the past, but I don't know what it's supposed to be trying to tell me with the flashbacks. Because I remember him bringing the projector out and showing what was on the actual reels. And I spoke to Rod about him, and he says a 7 mil was 7 millimeters. He says you just basically go on fire. He says you put them on and they heat up. He says because the acid or whatever the material's made of, he says it basically go on fire. But I know Dad had a couple of reels, but he sold them. He sold them a while ago because the projector just lay in the cupboard and it didn't really fire up because it was an old type projector. It was about a 1940s or 1950s machine. It was a big heavy bugger too, with two big arms on it. I don't know where my grandpa had acquired it from. I don't know where he was a projectionist. Because I know Dad kept telling me about how the grandpa was in the army, about him being a desert, about him being a desert rat. Some of these I'm going to have to go through and the things, try and take out the sort of better ones out that role. But definitely, Richard, you've got a number, as in you need to pick either number 12. As I'm saying, you need to either pick number 12 or number 1. Or do you want me to give you your number? Because it's supposed to, the wheel's done for 1 to 24, but I've done it to 1 to 12 because I didn't like the spacing in it. And I know Jeanette's coming on I know that Jeanette's coming on at 10 o'clock, about 10 or 9. Starts about 9 p.m. and it's 19:45 now. So it's like the back of 7 now. So I'm trying to sort of get in between her time before she starts. Because I know that Edward Thomas was kicking about Edward. And I know Silver Keys is having a trade day. Everybody like, why are you promoting their channels as in telling people about them that's on live? I actually got into trouble for that as in saying about somebody was as in about I think it was Ida Hearn, how many was at St Jude's auction in somebody's chat. She says, why are you promoting somebody else? Why are you promoting somebody else? I thought I was just talking out loud, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. I don't see it as promoting somebody by telling somebody who's on as in who is actually on. Because if you support people within the coin community, you'll know anyway. So I don't need to tell people. I just think it's nice that we all know who's actually on. Because I've had people that come in and out. I actually have different YouTubers coming in and out of my streams, as in especially when I'm on. As I go on different days, I'm one of these ones that I'll just go on randomly, but I'll not tell anybody that I'm going live. I'll just pop up. And that's it. That's what I do best. Some of them are actually not bad. Actually, that's a nice one as well. A 1944S. Sorry, 1940. Did I say 44? I meant 54. There's one that's glut. The one that looks as if somebody's took the sort of brushed the dirt off it. probably rolling it about in their fingers as in to take some of the dirt off it. Because I know some of these actually come out of the ground. But that's where I keep wondering where the actual dirt comes from on these, or whether it's just over the years. As in with people handling them, and they've collected the human dirt off their hands, the oil. That's why they're like that. Because I know our 2 pences, and 1 pences go like that. That's how I used to say, well, I'm not interested in these at one time, and it was somebody that put me into them. She says, but you don't know the value these are, you don't understand. And then when they kept telling me, but then when I seen all the sort of BU ones, I was like, they're actually not bad, they're actually nice, them. And I sort of got used to the Wheaties as well. Because sometimes you get the ones that are like chocolate, they're like a brown, they're not really dark, dark. And I'm like, well, if you can still see the date year and the mint mark, at least it's something, the detail around it. Because I know there's ones that say, because that's what I thought somebody was pulling my leg at the time, and they said, there's ones that say, in God we rust. And I'm sitting there pissing myself laughing, and I didn't know whether to take it as a joke or not. And then when I seen one, as in the one in God We Rust, I was like pissing myself laughing. I was like, I've actually seen one up close that actually does say in God We Rust, because the tea's like grease filled. And I was like, so it's true, it's actually true. I think it's just the machine itself, when it's printing it, how hard the impression hits the coin or hits the metal, which causes the impression on it. And if it didn't hit hard enough or moved, if say for instance the plate had moved as in either whatever direction as it was hitting, as it was trying to make the impression of the actual coin itself, and it say for instance the plate had been because when what happens is the plate will vibrate like that. So basically, the screws or the torques would need to be tight enough to hold the die in position, the die in position to keep it straight. And depending how fast the machine was moving at the time, as it was impressioning the coins, it could offset them. So basically, it could have missed the tee out or not hit hard enough to impression it. I used to listen to a lot of Ken Peavy's, but because I was new to it, I was still learning and I was trying to take it in what he was trying to tell us or trying to say in within his live streams. See, Dad was a spray painter and panel beater, so we used to talk about metal itself, and I was quite interested in it to understand what he knew and what knowledge he had learned over the years. I do listen to other live streams. It just takes a bit longer for it to soak in my head. That's all. Because I'm trying to think of the word there. as in the right word. It's basically it's an impression. It's an impression because it's photographed and then stamped into the die because it's basically a die. Because I love the smash penny machines. Because I was thinking of getting a hold of one of them smash penny machines. But then people were saying to me, "Is that legal, Alec? Is that legal to do that?" And I was like, "Well, it seems to be legal because I've seen these smash penny machines and there's a company that actually does them. There's like 4 different dies in them." And then I was thinking, well, what if you were to have to change the die in it? I wonder how much the die molds are as they get them done. So I started looking them up, and you're talking about for only just one die. We're talking about I think it was like £600 to just buy the die itself. And I was like, it's a lot of money's worth. As if you're going to change the dies quite regular to impression different stuff onto the penny itself. Because I think they were charging. I seen one and it was in the UK and it was 50 pence, and then the next time we went to it, they were charging actually a pound. So it was a pound and a penny. Because I started getting them for the kids, and then I thought, hold on a minute, I quite like these actually. I wonder if there's any more, as in different machines all scattered about the country. And then I found that you have them over there as well. And I was like, I actually like them smash pennies or the Ellen. You call them, some people call them smash pennies, some people call them the elongated pennies. And I actually like them when they're done. I think they're quite cool actually. I know there's collectors out there for them, the elongated pennies. Because I don't really collect phones. I actually buy them and repair. I actually buy them and then repair them. That's what I do. That's what I did do before I came to YouTube. Buy them up for car boot sales and started repairing them because a friend of mine's that I used to take stuff to. I don't know if he wasn't really a friend. It was really as an acquaintance, as my dad would call him. We used to take stuff to get fixed, and we found them out by accident because we'd bought this phone at this car boot sale and it wasn't working properly. And Dad says, I know where this guy is. I says, do you, Dad? He says, he's actually in Glasgow, Alec. I says, he says, I says, but what you going to do is when you find him, I says, you going to ask him for your money back and that on that phone? Or are you going to just say to him, look, can I swap it? Dad found his shop by a total accident because my dad never forgets a face. And we went up there and it was his partner in crime that was serving that day. My dad says, it's not him. He says he's his pal. I have found I've a couple of 1909s, and I think there might be, I've seen, but I know what you're talking about. It would be nice to find a full roll of 1909s. Somebody's got them somewhere, as in quite a few rolls, I reckon. I bet you any money they're worth a pretty penny as well. And nicer, in actual nicer shape. Because you're right, the 1909s are really hard. You find a couple of them every now and again. You won't find a full load of them. So I get you, I totally get you where you just came from with that. 1930. That's 1930s. That one's marked 1930s. I'm sure there's a 20. A 19 years, 1920s. Wonder if, because I think I've got two. I think I've got two 1909s. I think I've not got the S, and I've not got the rear. I've not got the rear one either. And then I've got a wall hanger, but I think it starts for 1930s or something, 1932 or something, up to 1958. I gave good money. I actually gave good money to get it of a certain person. I don't want to start mentioning names because there's a bit of controversy about this certain person at the moment. I don't want to start creating wrong vibes. There's a 1920 cut of dots. It's not bad. It's not the worst looking thing. It was just when you see it about the 1909, I'm thinking, I wonder if there's one in that tube. If it says 1920. But then why would it be marked 1920 and it was 1909 for 1909? It could be. Because I know that I've seen a couple that I've had, or I've seen a couple that I have in 1910s. But I can't remember where they would be. Because I've got rolls. Put it this way, Richard, that I've got rolls of pennies that I haven't even opened, that I bought over the 3 years or 4 years that I've been with YouTube. Because it started with Hazy Days and that, and then when I got to, as I said, when I got to 400 subscribers, I thought I need content, some kind of content, but what will I do? So I started looking about YouTube, thinking, well, what could I do that nobody else has done? But that's hard to find, try to find content that somebody's not done. So I stopped by one day, and what had happened was I used to listen to, well, I still support them, Cab 7. Cab 7 was shouting at SJ Mixed Adventures, but I couldn't understand why he was shouting her out, as in, please subscribe, blah blah blah, shouting her out. And that's what sort of led me to the coin community, was through Cab 7, as in on YouTube, because I class him as a godfather. Because I actually had if you look through the last live stream, there's actually well-known YouTuber that's actually left a comment on my live stream yesterday, Fireman CV, and he's another one that actually he enjoys going through rolls of pennies and stuff, because we're going through the, is it the 1920s? No, he told me 2023s. We've been going through the 2023s at the moment, rolls of them. Because I don't hold a gun to people's head and say, you have to be at my live stream when I go live. But that's what I'm saying. I still support them, as in Fireman CV and Green Bay Wacky. I never noticed that. But that there. I never noticed that. What you want to do, Richard, is you want to go through them and then search for your errors and varieties. Because your errors and varieties That's what give you the good. That'll give you the better money. The Wheaties, as in, like for discrepancies, your double die, your double dies and all that as well. I'm just sort of I just put them under the scope to let people see them up close. That's all. I don't really do it for to do errors. If I buy, say for instance, I buy a full mixed roll, I want to be able to put them like in tubes where it's 1927, 1928, 1930, so I know where every one of them is. And then what I usually do is I'll go through and I'll any like little blemish on a coin, I tend to put it one side because I'm not happy with that. So I'm like, well, that's no good to in my collection. But then I'll sort of take the better ones out and put them in a roll of their own. So I know, well, I've got four of them, five of that, six of that, seven of that, eight of that, nine of them, and do it that way because the whole idea was to put a set into my own collection and then either sell the doublers off or give them away. So I had something to put on the table because people used to say that about putting something on the table, and I kept trying to understand what they meant by that. It's having content something you can give back, and that's the whole idea of my channel was to give something back to the community or the supporters on the channel. Because without you guys, the channel wouldn't be where it is at the moment. Oh, okay, it's not monetized, but does it matter about monetization? How much is YouTube going to pay for content? You're going to have a lot of views, as in, so you're going to have a lot of foot traffic coming through your channel to even get paid half decent money by YouTube. And then what do you do with the money? What are you going to do with the money if they pay you? You're going to put it back into the channel? Are you going to use it for other things? Because nobody tells you what you can and can't use the money for. But that's why I said if people want to donate to the channel and donate to the shipping pot fund, because I have got a PayPal set up, as in it's on the about section, but I don't I don't say it's compulsory that you have to do it, but it helps as in for me to be able to ship stuff back to you guys, as in so you are on the wheel because I don't want to put a price on spots. I don't want to do that because it's overwhelming for being part of the community, for you taking us on. There's no point in me having it in a room because the room is stacked full of stuff. And mum's going absolutely bananas about it now because like you've actually took over two rooms. How much cupboard space do you actually want? All right, 710. We're gonna do the wheel as in 710. If you want to share this out, share it out, please. As in see if there's anybody else that wants to come in. Because I'm going to dance and shut the microscope off. I'm going to turn the camera around to me and we're going to hang me as and do the wheel. Because I've got as in a bag set up. Because I've actually changed it. I want to show you guys something. I know because it's got that. I see it. I see how I know what you're saying because it's right there, as in the middle of that nine. Because that nine looks totally different. I was going through spray cans, and then because Richard was saying about 1909, because I'm sure I've I'm sure I've got I'm sure I've got two of them, but I might have more. It might be in a different role. I'd need to look through I'd need to look through my inventory and see, because I know that um, there was a time where there was an auction and the coins went to Philip and it took us ages to get them to get, because I says, Gay, send Melissa a couple of rolls and yous keep a couple of rolls. And it was something to do with a member of his family or something, Phillips, Teslas. And it took ages to. That's fine, Richard. Um, aye. So Melissa has got a couple of rolls, but she said to me, I'll give them over as in they'll make you set up. And she goes, oh no, you need this one, you need that one. She put so so I might be planked away because I know she said they were 1930s, but I don't know as in which ones were actually in the role because she did the ones and she made them up. And I says to her, she says to me, what do you want me to do the rest? So give them away, give them to somebody else. Anybody that wants them. I says, or use them for your channel. I says, and give them away. I don't see the point of having, as in, if I don't need full rolls. What do I want a full roll for? What, to keep it and maybe sell it, as in leave it for 3 year or 4 year or 5 years to get the value of them up? I'm interested. I have a couple of them and pass them on to other people. I like them into their own collection. I like the I tend to like the nines as in the way they're curled. The curlies. But then I know there's large date and small date. But how do you work out which is large and which is small? Is the nines different as in when it's between the two? And which number do you actually look at? It's been alright actually. 710. Mum got a new. I need to actually do a video as in the back garden because they put a new fence on the back garden. It was, it was actually smaller the fence, but they've put a higher fence up, and then Mum's been in the back, and it was quite. The last yesterday was really good, and the day was it was alright, but it wasn't hot. Mum says it wasn't hot. It wasn't as hot as what it was the other day. No, because I went out on Friday to redo the standing order. But I didn't know the banks were shut on Friday because it's Good Friday, as in it's Easter weekend. So it's like Friday, Saturday, it's shut. Friday, Saturday, the banks don't open on a Sunday, and they're not open Monday, so they're open back on Tuesday. So I went down the centre, as in, and that was a laugh as well. Gets the taxi down, goes into the centre, pulls money out. Then when I goes to get the bus to go up the road, takes the new bus pass, takes the new bus pass, hands it over as on the machine. It goes. I thought, that doesn't sound too good. Aye, I was blooming right. So I've had to reapply. I've to reapply another application for a different pass because they're saying that on the machine it's saying that not a valid product or an unavailable product, and that's why it's bleating like that because it's not activating itself. properly or it's not activated properly and it's causing it to do that. So I come up the road to sort that out and I'm thinking, why has it done that? Is it because it's not linked up to this online account? So I've linked it up to the online account and I've went back down, stood down the road, waited for the bus coming in the opposite direction. And I've stopped the bus as it's come over the other side. Because the other side is where it lets you off and the other side of the road, the opposite side of the road, is for to go on. So he's waiting for the one coming round, and he wasn't turning up. So I sees the other one going the opposite direction. So I run out. I didn't run. I walked over the road, and I stopped it. And there was a passenger on it, and because I was holding the bus up, passenger didn't like that. So I asked the driver, and the driver he was only a young kiddie, not a young boy, maybe late 20s. And he says that the cards that we use for this automated service, he says he's had problems with it as well. He's had to keep reapplying for his card, his Young Scot card, as in every 21 days because of the system. He says it's fucking rubbish. But this is because of all the lockdown. They've put all the accounts online, so you're having to do all the application forms and that for anything that's free or whatever that you're entitled to. They're doing it online, so you can't actually speak to anybody to get it sorted. That's what the bus driver says to me when he let me on, because he didn't really need to let me on, but he did let me past. So I usually turn around and tell him I've got a free bus pass because I had to renew it because I didn't know that it would expired and it expired in January because there was a date on it and I didn't see the date. Didn't even look at it because I usually just take a taxi. I'll go out every now and again. I don't go out much because there's nothing to go out for. Because I don't see the point to go down the centre. Because all you do is, because Mum says, well, why don't you take a walk down the centre? She says, what to do, Mum? I says, go window shopping. I says, but my window shopping's different to your window shopping. If I see something I like and I can afford it, I'll walk in. But then I regret buying it 2 days later. It's like to me, it's like comfort buying and then going, well, why did I buy it? Did I actually need it? Am I actually going to wear it? Or am I actually going to use it? Because the reason why I bought this microscope, or bought another microscope, is because the other one packed up. It was only 20 odd pound, but the stand that I was going to use for the old one didn't fit the new one, so they ended up buying a stand, which was another £20. So it ended up costing me 40 odd by the time I was finished. But this one's a metal stand, which I like. But I only show, as you well know, 710, I only show coins as not only show coins to show the quality, the actual condition of the coin itself, and actually show, because when you if I was to decide to do an auction on the channel, people want to be able to view the coins that you're showing and how good they actually are and what they're buying. So I sort of understand why you would want to have a microscope, but I don't do it for as in the errors and the errors and varieties. I'm all interested in the actual condition of the coin itself. You see if it's good enough to put into my collection and to show everybody else. So there's content for the channel. Because that was the whole idea behind the channel, was to have content. I don't see the point. 710. You're having a channel now. You've not paid for as in to join YouTube, right? Yet. So you've got all these facilities that you have on your account and you're not going to use it to its full potential. I don't see the point of doing it then. That's why I was like, well, if I allowed to do content and it's not costing me anything for doing it, then I might as well as in put coins underneath the microscope and that. Because I am going to do the wheel, but there's not enough people as in to do the wheel. That's why I'm sort of holding back at the moment. Because I'm like, well, if we get enough people in, then we can do a full wheel. Because we need, as you well know, we need 12 people to make it worthwhile. The wheel itself. Because I was showing spray cans yesterday. What don't you know? What don't you know? What don't you know? Where did that lad go? Where the fuck that lad go? What disappeared? Oh, there it's there. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Because I need at least 12 for that. Because I've got a set made up. Because you guys, as in I was going to do a video as in saying, look, if anybody thinks that they haven't got their prizes, they are there. It's just that I've not sent them yet because people wanted to make them into wallets and do it like a wallet. So I've got the stuff here. It's not went back into stock. It's still sitting there. But if people don't give me their names and addresses, I can't send it. I can't send it out. If it's not that I'm holding it back or holding it for, I've not kidnapped it. It's still there. I want to be able to move some of the stuff so I can move some of it. I want to get a new home, some of it. Because that was the whole idea of the channel, to let it grow, the channel, to build it up. If other people want to join the channel, they can join as and be part of it. Because the phones is basically, when you told me about, as in, I didn't even know that until you told me that, but I don't know if you want me to tell that side of that, what you told me about the Motorola dealership and that. I'm going to start it when I need, as I'm saying, I need 12 bodies. I need at least 12 bodies to make it worthwhile. There's no point in just doing it with only 2 years. Because I see there's 2 watching, or there's you and somebody else, and Richard was here. Because we used to do it, we used to pick the numbers, and then somebody says, well, why don't you give them a number when they come in the chat and give them a number? As I said to Richard, Richard needed to either pick number 12 or number 1, because it was up to him whether he wanted number 12 or number 1, because that would have started the ball rolling. And then you go dig out the next number, which would be either number 11 or number 2. And then if more people come in the chat, it means then I can start giving the numbers out. Like your number. No, I'm going to do it today. I wanted to do it today because I was like, we started it. We were going to start doing it on a Friday, weren't we? And then I says to you, you says, I can't do Friday. I says, well, and if you can do Wednesday and Thursday, then we would take turns around. Because what I was thinking is, 1 week we do it on my channel, we rigged and the wheel. So then you could come up in the panel and you could do your rigged thing and I could do my wheel. And then because you said to me, well, why don't you send me the stuff that needs to be shipped for the USA or the USA stuff? And I was thinking I could I get where you're coming from with that, but then I'm thinking, well, if I give I would want to give you the shipping money, as in for the US, send it to you if you're going to deal with it. Me to have it on named and addressed, so you don't have to touch any name and address on it. So it's all packaged ready up, and then I just pass you the money or whatever for you to whatever it costs you to ship them out. Because I got where you were coming from when you said about it, but I didn't want to put it in your hands and then me saying, well, it's his fault. Because if any, the consequences are on me. No, it shouldn't be on you. Although that you're helping or wanted to help, and I didn't want to put that responsibility on your shoulders. That's how I said, no, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll sort it. But then it's like, it's like if I do it like the track thing, it's like without doing it through pirate ship, because I don't have a pirate ship account. I know you can get one, but I don't know what kind of money they would charge me, how I would do it, as in where I need to weigh it, then give all the dimensions of the package and all the rest. Because I'm not good at that. That's why I usually just take it to the post office. Here, they're a post office. And I tell them, as and put it on the. Because when we go to the post office and you go to hand them a package, if it's bigger than the plastic plinth they've got with the letterbox, if they can't get it through, it comes as a small parcel. So they'll ask you what way do you want it shipped, and they'll say to you, well, it's going to cost you that as in a standard rate, or you can have it recorded delivery. So I usually just sort it out with them. Give me the prices, what how much is that? And I do it the cheapest but the quickest way. I know that. I know that it's a lot cheaper. I know that. And that's why you were saying that. I know. I know. But I've got to put my full trust into you, and that I'm confident enough to give that responsibility to you without as in it backfiring on you. Because I would rather take the consequences, as in say, well, it wasn't his fault, it was my fault. I'll take the blame for it. I'll take the rap. If anything goes wrong, I'll take the rap for it. But you would take that responsibility. And I didn't want to put it in somebody else's plate. And that's how I was like, no, it's fine, it's okay. But I can see where you're coming from, because it's a lot cheaper to ship it for your end. I totally get it. That's why I was like, I'm grateful for Dingway for you. I'm grateful. And that's how I was like, well, what if? That's how I was like, well, he's got John Argent's package and then he's got three others. And I was like, well, you wouldn't have missed a couple of bits anyway, because you told the Durbins the same when they were doing your mail. If they wanted something at it, but they weren't taking it at it. See, I don't mind if somebody takes something at my package and they write on it, took out took out two items and then they mark in what the two items was, so I know, right, they two items are not there any longer because he's got them. But I gave them because I told you you could take them out. Because I don't see why you should ask anybody for, because there's time, labour, and you still got something at it. Why should you be doing somebody else a favour for nothing? I don't think that's right. Give them something back. His mum man used to do it with a lot of contacts, a lot of acquaintances. They'd buy stuff off him, and it'd be a regular thing. My dad would buy off him, and then all of a sudden, the old backhander like that, and slap a sweetener. He used to call it a sweetener or a bung. Sweetener under the table. Here you go, another extra five or a tenner. That was to keep the good side, so that he was the only person that would get the stuff. So the guy would go, give you a shout when the next load comes in, or I've got that coming in. Well, I'm first on that, I'm first dibs. There's a sweetener. My man was like that all his life, and a lot of contacts. That's why I wanted the mail call, because people were like, it's like with George, they were going, I didn't get my stuff. George didn't send me my stuff, and then they were blaming George, and I was like, yous are rotten cunts. You know that George is slow and shipping stuff, but you're moaning because you didn't get something. Maybe that person sent it out. Maybe it went missing. Because when it goes, it's like people don't realise you've got it there, so it's safe. It's safe where it is, right? But you've got to send it to Mr. X. Let's just call him Mr. X. So you've got to send the parcel to Mr. X. So you've took it for the safe place and you've took it to Mr. Z, right? Call it Mr. Z. Mr. Z, which is a post office, right? So you put it in the post office's hand. So they're supposed to be taking care of it as it's going through their system. But if they lost it, then it doesn't go to the next person. So the next person then contacts Mr. X and says, did you send my package? Well, I did send it, but the only thing I've got proof is a receipt. But they don't know whether that receipt is 2 months ago receipt or whether it was 3 days ago. But you're showing them it and going, there's the proof that I sent it. But they're trying to make out that you've held the package or you've not sent that package. But you know for a fact you've sent it and it's went missing as when it's in postal services hands and there's not a bloody thing you can do about it. Just totally get it. I totally get it. Cut my hair the other day because it was looking untidy. So it was really looking. I did started to grow. I'm my own post office. They say the package. I could use shipping pirate. That's why 710. That's why I wanted to do a video for you. That's why I wanted to do a video. I wanted to prove a point. I wanted to prove a point. Rigged, Mister 710's game shit or rigged. I keep pirate shipping. Oh, fucking thinking rigged. You do get your stuff, and that's why I wanted to show. Look, I'm proving that you get your bits. There it's there. There's proof that he sends it all over the world. There it's there. There's the proof of it. I don't mind paying that wee bit extra as in every now and again. Sometimes I'll wait until it's a big load and then it's sent all at the same time because it costs like, I think spray cans was like 50 odd pound and I'm like, what? I'm like, didn't you? I was like, why didn't you see me first before you sent it? See if you could get it a bit cheaper. See if you could get it a bit cheaper. Because the packages for like the Durbans are like, I think they're like £12. I think they're like £12 boxes or something, £12 boxes. And it cost me, I think it was, what was the last one? $90. I think it was $90 and that was tracked all the way. That was tracked. But that's like the equivalent, I think it's the equivalent of, I think it's like £77 or something. I think it's like £77. Which I don't mind. Because that's like a £12 box or a £14 box. And it's got plenty in it. So you open it up, you're like, fucking this cunt's full. Because I like the idea of what he sent. Because he sent me once. I've no pulled them all out. A full load. As in the way he sent them. 710, honest to God. That's not a lie. Look. Now this is, I've never seen this done before. And this is clever. Look at the way he sent them. That's the way he sent them. as in they're actually in twos on top of each other like that, and there's about at least, I reckon there's about three, there's either three or four of them, and I was like, because at first I was like, I'm looking at the box now, what the hell are they? I mean, they're no SMS slabs, are they? And I'm like, they can't be. I was like, so I opened one up. I was like, because what the hell did I get from them again? Because I buy stuff off of. I am live. Who's Mr. Beast? Who's Mr. Beast? I should this. That's his. Because I wasn't down the crying, spray can going, well, he's wrong in what's wrote on them flips. We were looking through them last night. I didn't use pirate ship, but I know that Mere Coins use Mere Coins. Silver Strike, I don't mind somebody saying Mr. Beast's son, but that's taking people. It's taking people away from the live stream, from what we're going to do, because we're going to do the wheel. We're going to actually do the wheel, so it's fine. You're fine, because I actually do promote people, as in I'll say Silver Keys was live. I think I know who you're talking about, Mr. Beast. I think I know who he is, Mr. Beast. I think I have. If it's the one that I'm thinking about, it's a young boy, and that's what he called himself, Mr. Beast. Or is it the one that eats? Or is that the one that eats stuff? It's fine, Silver Stripe. It's fine. Don't take it in badness, but just it's it's actually the worst thing to do, as in say, oh, such and such is live, because that starts taking people away for somebody else's live stream. I do it. I know what it's like to talk out loud and not realise what you just did. And I'm not really getting you into trouble for it. I'm just saying that a lot of people don't like that, promoting somebody else's live stream while they're live. I was live yesterday and just nobody came to it, and I was like, maybe I picked the wrong time. And I'm like, maybe I've offended somebody, and somebody's putting out an email saying, by the way, this was said, because I would rather. That's fine, Silver Stripe. We're all. See, that's what I like about other creators, because we're supposed to me, we should all be growing together, right? We should be all growing together, right? So if you're friends with somebody else and you like their stream, you should be telling other people about them, because we should be all growing together. We shouldn't be fighting with each other and arguing with each other. It's okay to be on a panel and have a debate with two people or three or four people. It's all right to have a debate without the fighting and the arguments. I hate one of my pet hates on YouTube is seeing drama and seeing two people that you really support and they're having an argument and they can't sort their differences out. Sometimes I'm like, because they're wanting you to take sides, who's in the right at that time, at that specific time. That's fine. That's good. Yes, Twitter. Yes, I think I've got a Twitter account, but I don't use it. But that'll help. Thank you, as in for sharing it on Twitter. Yes, Twitter. Might get some people for Twitter come over. Yes. No, I will check him out. What to do is, I don't know if 710's a mod. What to do, Silver Stripe, is see his channel, try and leave his channel link, go to one of my videos, right, and leave a comment and put it in the comment, put it on the actual comment, and I'll try and get it to so that it turns it blue, so that people can then go and see Mr. Beast, so that they can then subscribe to him. Because you're not a mod. You're not a mod. I know I've got about 15 mods. I don't want a full squad of mods. Because I'm like, I know the ones that I can trust are the ones that I've built up. Because I know that there's new people coming on. There's people that I've never met before, and they're all awesome people, especially in the coin community. Hi Frostbite. Because I don't do that. Because how can you're a total stranger to somebody, right? But how are you supposed to get to know them? You got to spend the time with them to get to know them really as a person, and be able to give them that bit of trust to know that they're not there for to do you any harm. Do you get me? That's what I like about YouTubers, because we all stick together as YouTube creators. Because when you said doing a video, I was like, oh, doing a video. So you're doing something at the same time. So you're creating something at the same time. I like that. I know Frostbite, but what happens is sometimes you have a mod and they start banning people, and then you have people that you haven't seen for ages and they're like trying to tell you, look, I'm ding me, I've been blocked. But how? I didn't block you. I didn't block you. So how you blocked? Fucking mod's done it. A mod's done it. Because they didn't like somebody, so they banned that person out of that person's. They haven't the right to do that. They haven't the right to do that. A moderator is only a moderator should only be given a wrench and be able to time somebody out, not actually ban them totally off that channel or block them for that channel. That should be the host's job, to block that person, to have that line of decision to say, well, do I block that person? Do I not? Or do I give them that second chance? Because I've seen me giving 2 and 3 chances to people, and then I get fed up. And then I'm like, nah, you're out. You're fucking out. You're gone. You're gone. But I don't like to be. I don't like to be put into like pig in the middle between two people, especially if I'm supporting them two people, and you're looking at him and then you're looking for the other one, or you're looking at him and her as in whether it's a he or a she, and you're looking at the two of them and you think, I want to knock your heads together. I want to fucking grab the two of you and bang your heads together, because you're in the ring, and you're in the ring as well. But you're putting me in the middle, and you're making me want to have a choice, making me have the decision of who's in the right. I know 710, I know that. Because I don't know if you've got a spanner, because I can't see the spanners, because I'm on StreamYards. I stopped putting like two sections up, because the computer or the Chromebook, every time I did that, it was knocking me off of StreamYards, and I was like, and it was driving me fucking demented, and I was like, fucking, I'm on panel with somebody, or on somebody's panel, and it was knocking me off, and I was like, fucking bastard. So now I just do as in StreamYards. I'm watching StreamYards, the side panel, which has got the live, and then it's showing the comments. So I'm reading the comments it's off at. Exactly, Frostbite. It's the host's channel, as in you got to respect the host. And if his post says that something's black, you agree with it, as in it's black, whether it's right or wrong, because it's their show, they're on it how they feel fit. Well, there's 5 people in, so we've got five people, and I've not even said as and gave them numbers. So I need somebody to start the ball rolling. I need somebody to either pick number 12 or number 1, because there's 5 of you now in here. I need at least 12 people to run the game, and I want to show something. I want to show something that I've did. This is even better. I'll show you if I can find the right package, because yesterday was a nightmare. I picked the wrong one up and I was like, that's the wrong package. I was like, that's the wrong one. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to do, if we get enough names, we're going to do the same one as Joe does. We're going to do an early bird. So that's an early bird one. We're going to do 2 GWs. We'll probably do 2 GWs at the end. And then I'm going to show you what I've done as in this one. Usually like this. Remember how you used to get a slab? You still get a slab, but look, watch this. I'm not going to start opening them. Anything that's for the wheel is sealed. I've sealed it, and that's the way it'll stay. So you'll get a surprise as in if he's win. Well, that's first, second, and third prize. So there's actually 3 winners. And that's quite good because you get two stickers, and then you get something in the back, something in the back, something in the bag, and then you still get your slab. You've still got a slab coin, because the whole idea is when you pick a number, you win a minimum prize, and they're all sealed. I'm going to keep opening them, and don't. If it's only if somebody asks me to open it as in to see what they've got. That's up to them. But their name will get put on it, and if they want, it'll put it in as neither they can have it and wait until it's a wallet. But it's up to them if they want to donate as in for the shipping pot fund, because happens the same with 710's channel. 710's channel, you donate as in what you like, or if you want to donate, you donate to help the shipping. And also George and Mike Pacini is doing the exact same. Anytime you're on their games, as in whatever you win, if you want to donate, you donate it to the shipping fund, so that it helps them as in be able to send the stuff out. I can't thank you guys enough. And that was the whole idea of doing the wheel. Make it fun for everybody so everybody could join in. But the whole thing was I couldn't charge spots. I couldn't do that. I couldn't ask for funds, and that's why I'm like, well, it is not compulsory. It's not compulsory. But the thing is, I've got to find, if I'm going to pay for all that, because I'm paying for the coins, as in buying the coins up, whatever else to give to you guys. but also I've got to do but if I've got to also do the shipping, as in pay for that, then the money's got to come from elsewhere, which means then I have to do eBay, and that was the whole idea behind the mobile phones, because my passion is in doing mobile phones. I actually sit and repair them. That's what I do as a hobby. I buy them up off of eBay, or I'll get them off a source. I maybe I'll get them. You might do a bulk load for me. There might be 30 phones in it, and it'll charge me between £2 and probably what £2 a phone. Sometimes it's £4 or £4 a phone. Sometimes it's a fiver. Sometimes you might give me three of them, and they'll say give me £12 for the three, and that's extra. That is so that basically that helps with the shipping pot fund. But if I don't list stuff on, it means then that the money's still tied up in stock, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's like I'm trying to do two projects at once, 710, and I'm feeling that I'm stressed out with it, as in it's as if I can't give it my full attention, and I'm like my energy's getting soaked up, and I'm like trying to do this plus also do that. So I'm trying to sort of, because I don't want to sort of let the channel go dormant. So I'm trying to sort of come up with ideas and put it and do the bits and pieces. I Silver Sight. I love cars as well. I love anything with an engine in it. I'm fucking daft. My mum was the same. He was cars. That was his main passion. Spray paint and panel beater, and he was blooming good at his job. No, I don't touch them because I don't know enough about the stamps, as in stamps, but I know that there's money in them. As I'm trying to do 710, that's how I've not been about. I've went AWOL for quite a bit, as in there was two videos and they done well. The two videos or the two shorts has done well, and I was like, I'm flabbergasted with them because I'm at 365 views and 600 views. It was 635 views on Facebook, as in when I put them on. I was like, what? I was like, I was like, no way, that can't be real. I know Silver Stripe, exactly. Trying to do 2,000 things at the same time. Fucking lifeless chick. Where fucking am I doing? Where am I? Da, da, da. You got to when you're doing mobile phones, you're concentrating, because I've got to when I buy them in. Sometimes I'll buy them as untested, so I've got to then check them, power test them, bit of battery in them, whatever else. Depends what's on the stamps. I know Silver Stripe, it took like 3 years. It didn't just this channel didn't just as in be like 1,000 within a space of 3 months. It took like 3 years of building it, as in it took about 3 years of getting it to that level, as in that 1K. When I got to that 1K, I was like, right, that's that goal finished. And I was like, right, next goal is get the 4,000 watchers. But every time I got close to it, I was like, I'm getting closer and closer and closer and closer to that. And it was like, because you've got to do it within a 365 days spell, and after a year they take certain bit off you and they knock it back. So you've got to do 4,000 watchers within a year, and it didn't happen. And every time I got closer and closer, I'm getting closer to it. I'm getting closer to it. I'm getting closer to it. And then I think the consistency was going down, and because you've got to be consistent with your videos, you've be consistent with putting out your videos, so you got to be consistent with doing them constantly. I think it's like 290 3 minutes or something like that. I've not got, it's not a lot, Silver Sight, but I got to a state, I was like, let's not worry about this. I'm stressing myself out about this, getting these 4,000 watchers. I was like, just let's enjoy the channel. Well, let's just enjoy it. I was like, fuck it. I was like, I'll never, because what happened is they actually took away my AdSense, or they actually if you've got your Google and you've got your AdSense, but if you're not using it so often, they end up they don't ban it. It's like a block or a HOD they put on it. It becomes non-active, and that's what they done. It ended up becoming non-active, as in, because you see that it was inactive for like over 3 months or something. And I was like, what? I was like, fucking using it. I'm using the account for YouTube. So how could it be inactive? Inactive for the last 3 months? That's fine. I was like, how can it be inactive for the last 3 months? I was like, and I was like, maybe it's set in a different channel. I was like, maybe it's actual, the AdSense is there, but it's just a completely different channel as in on the account. And I was like, it could be possible, because I know I have 4 different accounts for different email addresses. And I was like, maybe I've done it for one of them and no realised. And I'm like checking account number and everything. Back checking account number, fucking thing me as and check this. And was it on this one? Was it on that one? Checking up. And I went, fuck it. I went, I can't do it. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, I can't do this. And I was like, fuck it. I was like, if they've never paid me, I was like, I know I know another way to make this work. I was like, right. So there was a guy I knew, and he's got channel Silver Sight called Old Mucker. But on Facebook, his name was Phil This is funny. Phil McCracken, right? And I didn't get the joke. Phil McCracken, right? Phil McCracken, right? Didn't get, I'm called. I phoned him up, right? And he's like that. And he going, my name's no Phil. And he goes, do you not get it? And I went, no, he went, think about it. He went, Phil McCracken. And I went, fuck, I felt so embarrassed, right? I felt so embarrassed fucking to the guy's joke, right? And it was him that helped me with putting PayPal on my channel. But I'm actually, my PayPal is actually a business account on my my YouTube, but I use the PayPal for doing it for transactions, but I also use the PayPal for my eBay. I know, Silver Sight, I didn't get it. I didn't totally get it, and I've accepted him as a friend, right? But I didn't get it until he then told me the butt of the joke. But he was friends with Iron Dog, and he used to be friends with, or I think he still is, with Scotty, and that's how I met Phil, was through that, as an Old Mucker, as in he's got a Norton bike, not a fucking beautiful bike. He's got 3 of them. I know it's funny, as in, that's what I'm saying. That's what he put his name under, was Phil McCracken. But I didn't get it. I don't. Sometimes I don't get a bit of the joke, because I've got what they call autism. I've actually been diagnosed for autism spectrum disorder. So I have, as in the communication skills, I fall down on, and I find it like a relationship and friendship I find hard, but business stuff, I can talk all day long about it and know exactly how it's done, how to do it, and all the rest. But I don't do it. I don't really do it to make money out of it. I do it for the love and enjoyment out of it, and the labour I put in my time. And I'm like, I put my passion where it is, and people go, but you do too much of it. I've had people that I've sent stuff to, right? They've had a package from me and they've been like, you overdo it. You actually overdo it. Because I want to give them a good spread and give them a proper package that they turn around and say, wow, this man has got a passion here. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's wanting to achieve, because I'm not thinking about the YouTube channel was never set up for a short term. It wasn't set up for short term. It was set up for long term, a long term thing. I would say that's number 3. Sitting on that top peg. That's the first time it's about the second time that it's done with that I've managed to do that, as in get it just as in hanging there like that, and it's sitting at that peg as in where that 3 is. I'm talking about the actual when I do a package, as in when I send somebody a package. I've sent packages, as in I've sent packages to people, as in because sometimes I'll pick somebody out and I'll just at random. I used to email somebody and I say to them, "Can I get your address?" But I wouldn't tell them why I wanted that address, and somebody be like, "Oh, what the hell is he doing? Is he going to dox me? Is he setting me up for a fall? What is he up to? What is he up to?" I wouldn't delete the channel. I was talking about as in like a package. Look, I've sent people packages as in that I've not even charged them for. I've just sent them because I'm like, I like you as a person, or I've went, I think you deserve it as in to help your channel out. And I went, I would like you, there's a package for you to do whatever you like with, but there's a roll of pennies. Can you do me a favour? Can you take pennies out of that roll and give them to your subscriber and tell them for they're from, as there, this is the person that has sent them, because I like that idea. Because I've done it for 710, and I'll do it again for 710, as in the next, because I've got a package for 710 actually. I don't 710. I don't know where your package is at the moment. I know it's in here. It's in this room somewhere. But I just don't know where, because I remember showing you it. I haven't sent it yet. I wouldn't delete the content, because it tells you that's the worst thing you can do is delete your content. It's the worst thing. So even if it's shite, I've seen me saying things in it, and put, and I'm like, if I get pulled up for it, if somebody says to me, I was offended by what you said, that I would rather them as an email me and say to me, oh, I didn't like that because you said this, and this is what I'm pulling you up about. I know that you didn't do it intentionally, but I didn't want that sent or told. No, I've sent them. I'm trying to show. I bought a full load of 74s and 81s, and I've actually sent full rolls out to people, as in a BUP 710. Haven't I sent you a roll of half decent pennies, as in for you to give to people for the thing with the rigged? I'm trying to explain it to Silver Stripe because he's asking things, and I'm like trying to explain it in layman's terms, or trying to explain it exactly. Like, say for instance, that I've sent people as in a full roll of BU pennies and said, "Can you do me a favour? When you open that roll, can you send as in, because there's 50 pennies in a roll, because some people will only pick, like, say for instance, take 2 coins out of a roll, and they'll go, right, I'm taking you 2 pennies, and I'll go, but I'm gonna sell the rest of them. Or they went, well, what am I gonna do with them? And went, oh, I can't sell them because they've been opened and there's 2 at that roll, so it's not a full roll anymore. Because the minute you open a roll, somebody could turn around and say that roll's been searched. That roll's been searched. So why do I want to buy it off of you? Why do I want to buy it off of you? You've searched it because you've opened it. You've opened it and ripped the roll up. You've ripped. Well, where you took 2 coins with it doesn't mean something. Exactly, 710. But you shouting somebody out, as in you, instead of you shouting somebody out, you go, by the way, Alexander Smith told me to give you, as in to put 2 pennies in your package. So you have to check him, you have to check my brother out. There's 2 extra pennies into your package. Because it's up to you whether you put them in flips or put them in plastic 2x2s. That's up to you. It's not up to me. When you give a package to somebody, you can't. Somebody told me you can't put an ultimatum and say to somebody, by the way, I gave you a donation. You have to buy X of that. And that's the stipulation. You can't do that with friends. You can't give them an ultimatum when you're friends with them. You can only advise them or say, well, I would like this done, Matt. But whether they do that, that's up to them. That's up to them. I've seen me going, that's what I'm saying. When I go overboard, I'm going to put 15, 20 coins and I bring me in a package and make it up for somebody. And then I'll say to them, I'll email them and say, by the way, can I get your email address? I've got something coming to you, but I won't tell them what's in it. So it's a surprise. You'll find out when you get it. But do me one favour. Is there any chance of making a video doing a mail, when you do a mail call and you do it for me, you put my name on it. It's as in Alexander Smith. Mail call from Alexander Smith. It means then that somebody sees that and goes, hold on a minute, that package came from Alexander Smith. I'll go and check his channel. I want to see what he does. It's like Cab 7 shouting SJ's channel out, SJ's Mixed Adventures, right? And me going, what does that channel do? Me being curious to know what that channel's about. What is that channel about? What is it she does? That's me being curious to what the certain people do in their channel. What videos have they got? Maybe I'll be interested in the videos. Maybe there's something in the information as in that I can use and adapt. Because you see somebody do something and you go, well, they've done it that way, but you don't want to copy the full. You're not going to mimic a full video the same as them. You're going to make it your own content, but you're going to take bits away for that video and go, hold on a minute, I can use that bit and I can use that bit and I can use that bit. But I didn't know about that information. So you sort of piece it together. It's like a storyteller telling a story. And he comes up with a storyline. But he can figure out the start of the storyline, but he can't get to the middle part. Because when you start a story, there's got to be a start, a middle, and an end. So instead of us doing a book or writing a book, we're actually doing videos as creators and we're making the story. But as we're making the story, you've got to make it enticing as good as possible to keep people interested in what it is. But the thing is, do you leave it with a bit of expense or suspense at the end, like what EastEnders does, so you want to watch the next part of it? Exactly, 710. Bang on. Thanks for that. Aye, he's right. No, because I don't know what your channel's about, Silver Stripe. You just come into the chat or whatever, and it's a new name, and I'm thinking, do I know this person? Has somebody changed their channel name? Maybe changed their channel name, and that's then as no, because I'll check if I haven't checked you out already, and I don't know you. I'm taking you at face value, right? Taking you at face value, and I'm welcoming you in. But then I'm like, what is it he does in his channel? But the only way for me to know that channel is for you to leave a comment so that then that sticks, that comment. I can then reply back with a response saying, thank you for checking the video out. Thank you for leaving your comment and supporting the channel. And for me then to go and check your channel out because it gives you like the round avatar. All you have to do is hit the avatar, and it should take you to that person's channel. You're a gamer. I got on with gamers. I like actual gamers. But the thing is, as in that it's the only part that I wouldn't say it upsets me. A gamer will play a game online, right? So he's doing a live stream and he's playing a game, but you can't be in that game playing with him. So you can't actually join up or teletransport yourself and or teleport yourself into that game so you can be part of that game because you're only watching. So you're watching exactly what he's doing. So you're only viewing the actual game content. You're not actually in with that player. Because I said that to somebody. Wished I could actually play with you as in with that game. So it's like a team, as in a team. But you know how you've got like in the army, right? You've got the Afghanis. I'm just using this as an example. You've got the Afghanis, right? And you've got the Iraqis. And the Iraqis are trying to make peace with the with the Afghanistans, right? But the Afghanistans hate the Iraqis. So that game's like thing when you like set up like a team, it's like two teams and you're fighting the opposition. I would rather be in. I'd rather be in there as in actually be in there with that person and actually being part of their team. So that basically you're helping them get up the levels as in that game. Because you can only watch it when they're live streaming it as in the actual game when they're playing it. And they're trying to there's people as in trying to as in talk to him while he's gaming and he's concentrating in the game because that's what I said about Oz. Oz tends to forget about the chat as in he knows that we're there as in the chat, but he tends to forget about it because he's too focused. He's too focused in the actual game itself. The game itself. I says to him, that's hard. That's hard to actually play a game and try and watch the chat at the same time or see that the chat so to recognise because that's what you're doing as a host. You're recognising when you're getting a comment, you're recognising the people. So you're recognising that person and saying, oh thanks, I see you there. So as you're commenting, I'm reading your comment. So I'm interacting with you guys. And you're not interacting with somebody, they're getting more frustrated because they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to get your attention and you're not listening because you're too focused. You're focused on the thing with the game itself. I've had people join my team when I go live. I don't own a PS4 or PS5. I actually I've I bought a Evercade and I've actually still to show it yet. I bought you should see this, fucking beautiful. So some piece of equipment. I built one, right, and I couldn't get it right. This arcade joystick. and I bought a brand spanking new one. And this thing's a two-player. It's like a two-player joystick, but it's got an HD. It's got an HDMI port, but it's not. It's not. It's on a. It's like a memory card. It's got a memory card in it, but it's got like 6,000. Like 6,000 games. This thing's got about 6,000 games. It's about 589. About 500, 5,000, 5,800 games on it. This thing, as in two-player joystick, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Done by a guy in me at classic arcade games. I paid what was it? 199 for it. 199. No, no, 710. It's a two-player joystick. It's a Pandora bot. It's a Pandora box. But when I opened it up, the PCB board, it doesn't say Pandora on it, on the board, on the actual PCB board. It's supposed to be a mini computer inside it on a motherboard, but it's got an SD card in it. It's Silver Stripe. It is quite a lot of money's worth, but it is really nice. It's got metal casing, it's got 6 buttons each side, and two joysticks. It's an actual. It's about that. I've actually got a video for it because Andrew wants to see it. It's about that long. She's about that long, about that. It's about that wide. As in the box, the casing that it sits in is about at least about that, and inside it's like a motherboard. The motherboard's about that big, as an SD card in it. Paid this. I'm saying I gave him 199 for it because I was like I was fed up trying to build this thing, right? And I was building it with Raspberry Pi, right? And every time I built it, the Raspberry Pi was fine in it. The Raspberry Pi was fine in it, right? But every time I tried to do this, right, the joystick when they work, I think it's a set. It's a settings thing, and I goes, I can build. I can build hardware. I can build hardware, but when it comes to software, I've got a downfall in software because that's fucking Silver Stripe. Watch this. Look at this, right? Watch this. See if you can work out what's that for. What's that for? That's a piece of equipment. Look that up. Look that up. Go on the website or go on the thing. Go on the internet. Put Medusa Pro. Put Medusa Pro in. As in if you can find it. Pick up an image of it and read what it says. Read what it says. What tool that's for. What it does. I'm still learning it. I'm still learning with it. Because I can do the unlocking. It's for doing phones. It's actually for doing firmware. It's actually for doing JTAG. It's JTAG. It's a JTAG. It's a JTAG. It's for doing phones. It's for doing software when the software's wrong. But I'm still learning about that side of it. I'm still trying to pick it up because I don't want to spend. The courses are away in different countries, and it's so Indians. It's usually Indians, the Asians, and they talk on their own language. And there's a guy, it's an Egyptian. There's also a guy, it's Mexican as well, or he's in Mexico, but I don't know what language he actually is. He's dark skinned, Now, I've got nothing against, I'm not racist against people, but a lot of them on thing me, they go on Facebook and they'll say to you inbox them, but they don't, they want to take over. They want to take over, as in, they want to give you the solution, but they want to do it for you. They don't want you seeing the files. And I'm like, I want to be able to see the files and how you do it, and all that, Karen, because I want to know more about that box. Because I'm like, I know that box does more, and it's like a box, but it's basically a programmer. It's exactly what you said. It's a programmer box, and it basically does the EEPROM chip, but it reads and writes the information on the actual thing. But that's what I'm saying. When it comes to software, I've got a downfall. I can build them. I can build a PC. I can build it and put it all together. But I would have to send it back to somebody and say, look, I've done my best with it. This is the software it needs. You need to do that yourself, as in software, because that's my downfall. Because I can build something. Because my dad, exactly, exactly. I'm one of these people that want to pulse. My dad used to go daft, pull something apart and go, you don't know how to put that back together again. No, I can't remember. Well, why did you pull it apart in the first place? Because I want to see what's inside it. It was like that machine came in, right? And I says to Mum, there's a rattle in it. And the rattle was bothering me, right? The rattle was bothering me. So Mum went away on holiday, right? No, she hadn't paid for it. I'd paid for it. She says, don't open it up. She says, no, this rattle's bothering me, what's inside it. I kept hearing it, so I was like, I'm not powering that up. Because I'm like, if whatever it's inside it, it could be a screw. It's when they've been building it. When they've been building it, I says, when they've been building it, it could have been a screw that they've dropped in it when they've been produced, when they've been doing the production it, because he ordered 70 of them to get done. Because Andrew wanted one, as in people were like, I want one, and then we're on this guy's classic arcade game, but he doesn't build them. He only resells them, but he gets somebody else to build them. And I don't know where they come from, right? And I could hear this rattle inside it. I don't fucking like this rattle, but I said, I'm not pulling that up. Because I'm like, if I blow it up, then he's going to turn around. If I'd send it back to him saying, look, it's not right, it's faulty, he's going to check it out. And if I've done anything to it, it's going to come back to me. So I'm like, I'm not going to turn this on, but this rattle kept bothering me. It was two tie wraps that were inside it. But I opened it up while Mum was away because Mum was like, I don't, she's like, don't you dare open that up. And I was like, well, it's mine's. And I was like, there's got to be 3 screws in it to open. Because the panel open, you can change the buttons and the buttons and the joysticks to different joysticks and different buttons. So I was like, well, it opens. I know it opens because it opens. The top it opens because it's like a plastic top on it. It's PVC top. It's like perspex top. So I knew there was only 3 screws holding the inner the metal casing round it. So there's 3 screws. Take 3 screws out, tip it upside down because I was like, this rattle bothering me. I'm not paying good money and then it ends up something happens to it because whatever's inside it is rattling. Because that rattle shouldn't be in there in the first place. I should have just sent it back to him. He says, I'm not taking that at thing me, as and I'm not happy with that, and explained what was in the happy bit. I thought, no, the time to send it back, I got to pay for it, go and send it back, and then end up he's got to send it back to me. So it'd be another 3 weeks before I get one, as in if it's a faulty unit. I says it's not faulty, it's something stupid that's rattling inside it. So I opens it up, and that's how I found out what was inside it. Because it's like, I wonder what's inside this. And I'm looking at the motherboard. I'm checking on the motherboard, and I'm like that. I looked at the motherboard. I see this SD card. They've actually they've hot glued in this SD, in the SD slot. They've got they put a bit of glue, as in hot glue, And I was like, that's to stop that memory card from coming out. But if you took the glue off it, because the memory card's supposed to come out it, because it's the same as the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi, you can actually the memories on the SD card. I've got I've got two of them. I've got two of them. I've got a I've got a Raspberry Pi 4. And the Raspberry 3 I just gave it to thing me. I just sent it to Andrew. Says, I know it's got a fault, Andrew. I says, I've tried my best with it. I says, but I'm not going to use it. I says, it's better going to a good home. I says, I know that I've lost money at it. I says, but I would rather see it go to a good home. I says, because I need to clear space. Because I says, Mum's doing my head in at the moment because of these two rooms full of stuff. I says, and I've got like there's like 8 boxes that I've stacked in the double cupboard now. As in it's just stacked on top of each other. As in the it's all full of coins that I've not even pulled out yet. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? And I'm like, I can't pull any more out until I start getting stuff away. And I'm like, and she's like, what are you gonna do with fucking in here? Blah blah. Fucking I'm like, fucking just leave me alone. Don't keep going at me. Please don't. Mama fucking hates that. I setting windows up as and thing, mate. It's easy. It's easy when somebody else has done it, and when you get a disc and you put the disc in, and you can actually, but when it's commands that you've got to put in and try and work out the commands that you're supposed to put in it to get it to work, that's when the thing. That's when I find it difficult, as in to try and figure it out. It takes me longer to figure something because I've got I've got what you call a photographic memory. If I see a video and watch a video, I totally get it. Is that the steel penny? That steel one? That's the one that the thing there was the two that one because yeah. I thought that was a steely. It's not. That steely's the other. That's a steely. I think that's a steely. Aye, that's a steely. No, because that's a steel. That's a steel pen. That's a steel penny. That's a steel one. 1940. Because they used to silver site. They used to do as in they used to be able to get the disc, but now it's a digital because they do have them programmer boxes. They've actually stopped. They've not stopped building them, but a lot of people stopped buying them because there's a digital version online. You can actually buy a digital version, but I like the box because the box does a lot of things. The box is something else. It's some piece of equipment. It's the same with the other one. I've not just got I've not just got that. I've not just got that one silver. I've not just got that one silver stripe. I've got that one as well. This is some piece of equipment as well. Because I notice some people like to keep them clean. That's the easy JTAG, an easy JTAG box. That's a Z3. That's a Z3. That's a Z3. That's Z3X team. That's a JTAG as well. Because sometimes there's some software works with the boxes and some of them don't. As in with some of the software, some of the files has been done or they've been taken for a different company or a different unit, turned over a different another one, and the file is not. They've tried to adapt the file, and as they try to adapt it, there's been a few errors in it, a few errors in the file, and end up people go, but that doesn't work, and this one doesn't work, and that one, and then there's a bit of controversy, and then at the moment there's a bit of controversy on the. I was looking on the Facebook group just recently, and there's an error on the Mippy. Mippy's brought out a box because it's by Morsi. Morsi were Morsi Morsi were doing Morsi were doing building the adapters for the boxes, and Morsi decided that they wanted a box of their own. So what they've done is, as they were modifying a lot of the adapters for Z3X, they must have had their software for testing. And what they've done is they've used Z3X's software and put it into so it's using the same software, but they've made it slightly faster, their box, the Mippy box, but they're no one to fix the errors on the actual files or the files that's inside it. And they're all going fucking they're all going daft. It's under phones or us, but I haven't put anything on. Yeah, I've still to put stuff on. I've got 7 or 8 silver set. I got about 7 or 8 boxes of stuff I want to put on. As in thingy and they're all in pairs. If you buy something, say for instance you buy something off of me, right? And say for instance you find a fault in it, right? Say for instance I sold it to you as a used unit and you get it, and even if it says that it powers up okay and the screen's okay in it, if you find a fault and it's is an actual fault and not just you're kidding it on, if you're honest with me and say, by the way, I bought that off you, I'm not 100% happy that I've took that off of you and there's a fault in it that I found, I will actually think me, all you have to do is you pay for it, as in send it back to me, and I'll either give you a replacement or I'll give you your money back what you paid for it, as in your amount you bid for it or what you paid for the item, plus also the amount for the time of the refund for your postage and packaging, as in for your original postage and packaging. I do not have customers, unhappy customers. I don't believe in unhappy customers. That's one thing I don't believe in, as in to rip people off and say, oh, it definitely, oh, it's 100%. Sometimes we with used items, because it's a used item, sometimes you don't always find a fault. You can only go so that's what I was explaining to you now. You can only go so far in testing something, and there still could be a fault or an issue that you can't fully test, and it might go to a customer, and that customer then uses it for whatever he's going to use it for, tries using it, and thinks, I bought a pig in a poke here. What am I going to do about it? But the thing is, we eBay is you're buying it with a description. That's your guarantee, is the way it's described, because you can put in a claim saying it wasn't described accurately. I don't have unhappy customers, that's one thing. I wouldn't do that, and I don't like that idea. It's like, as in you buy I've seen it as in big shops, not that car on. They bought something, a product, the customer then comes back screaming and shouting and blaring because it's not doing what it's supposed to or whatever, right? But they don't want to send it back or they don't want to take it back. I thought that was customer service. I thought that was customer service. So you're telling me that you just brought a product and you're not going to do nothing about it to fix it for to make that customer happy? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get that. So you've a customer's looked at that picture, right? It's looked at that picture and thought, I really like that item. I really like that. I really would like that item. and they've seen it, they've read all the product description on it, right? Take it home, take it out of the box, go to use it, and it's not got something, there's a function that it says, or you've read in that product description that it's supposed to do and it doesn't do it, but they don't want to take it back. They don't want to take it back. I'm like, what? Oh, what? I don't fucking want that book. So just because you've opened it, they're saying it's non-returnable. It's non-returnable because you've opened it. Because you've opened it. But the product was supposed to say it's like they used to say about paint. It says what it does in the tin. It says what it does in the tin. I think that was one of Hammerite's. It was one of Hammerite's products. It says what it does in the tin. But so you looked at it. It says everything in the box or on the box. It tells you what the product is. It tells you about the product. You open it up, but it's not got that feature. It's not got that feature on it. Of course, you're going to take it back. Of course, you're going to take it back to the shop and turn around and say, by the way, it says the thing that it's supposed to have this feature on it, but it doesn't have this feature. But you don't want to do nothing about it. Oh, well, you bought it. It's your problem now. It's your problem. I don't get it. I don't get that. Don't get that at all. Don't get that. That's why I lose the nut because I'm like, I don't get that. So there's no customer service any. There's not any customer service any longer. Customer service doesn't exist any longer. I actually wanted to work in a phone shop as in dealing with customers' problems, dealing with the customer service department, and actually thing because when you get a customer, right, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to come in blaring and shouting first of all. But if you can calm the situation down, you can calm the situation down and get to the bottom of what the problem is, that's when you can solve it. I turn around and say, well, I can only do what the best I can do. I might not be able to fully please you, but I can get it to a point. I can get it to a point where they might see this smiling face, go back at that shop. But they wouldn't let me in because oh, you haven't got the qualifications, you've not got the right positive attitude. As in, they didn't even see me. They didn't even see me. They only got my CV or whatever else, and I sent it in them, and I would get a letter back saying, "Sorry, but your application as in is not what we. You're not being a successful candidate." What? Not been a successful candidate. Some old man kept saying to me, he says, son, if you can't get a job, make a job. Make a job. I'm thinking, what does this old man mean? If you can't get a job, make a job. How do I do that? How do I do that? And I sat one day and I thought, he's right enough. Do you know that? It's like a man breaks. Think about it this way, right? A man has no tools, right? So he can't do the job that he's supposed to do as a tradesman, right? But if you help him out, as in buy him the tools that he needs, maybe you can't buy him all the tools he needs. Maybe you can only help him out to a certain point because you don't have a lot of money yourself, right? But the man comes to you and says, I've got a problem here. I don't have any tools and I can't do the job because I've no tools. Well, you don't hire the man because he's no tools. But if you give him the tools he needs, he can then do the job. It's like when you think about it, right, God had all these followers, right, and he told his descendants, look after my flock. But the descendants didn't know what God meant by his flock. But if you were to give a man a rod He can fend for himself by fishing with the rod, so he feeds himself. Well, it's the same with a man that has no tools, that cannot feed himself until he has the tools that he needs to do the job, to make the money he needs to fend for himself. And that's why sometimes we give something to somebody, because we doing that he can then feed himself. So he might get a coin, and he takes that coin and he does his research on it, and he finds out it's got a double D on it or a double die on it, right? Or it's an ODD or an ODR, and he looks at the price of that coin and he decides that coin is an MS40 or whatever, or a MS50, right? Yeah, please. And he asks 100 and odd pound for it, or 100 and odd dollars for it. Are you going to down decry that he's wrong about that coin? And he showed you the coin. He's told you all about the coin. He shows you where the thing where he sees the error on the coin. And he says, I want 120 odd pound or 100 odd dollars. You going to turn around and say, well, I really want that coin, but no, I'm what I don't agree with your price. Maybe then you can haggle with the man, but then he might not want to haggle. He might turn around and stand his ground and say, no, I want 120 odd dollars for that coin, and I know it's worth a lot more, that coin. Well, that's what it is in the coin community. That's what some of them do. They do the research, they do the homework. Well, I do it because I get a buzz out of the auction, and that's why I want to give you guys something back. Okay, we didn't do the wheel because there wasn't enough people to do the wheel. Because there's no point in only two people in it. It needs 12. It needs 12 because it's set out for 12 people. It's set out for 12 people. Because I do it for 12. That's why the bag was there. The bag was there with 12. The bag was there with 12 numbers on it. Because they're all numbered. I sat numbered them all. They're all numbered if they want to 12. That's the whole idea, is to get enough people in it, 12 people, so that it ends up they all talk amongst. Because the whole idea is for them all to talk amongst themselves in the chat while we're doing it. So basically they're following what's going on at the same time. And then once their name goes on it, that's it. It goes into a different bag. Because that's what I'm saying. They're all different names. It's on there. There's the 7th. As I said, there's the 8th of July. That one's Irish. That one's Irish Collector. So if Irish Collector's won a few times, that's Irish Collector's package now. So it's all numbered for to go to, because it's going to down with Australia. It's going to all different places all over the world. That was the whole idea behind the channel. Was to do something that was enjoyable for everybody. I thought to myself, well, what's the point in me? What's the point in me? I thought to myself, Silver Side, what's the point in me doing it for only me to enjoy a channel? What if we all enjoy the channel? What if we all become part of the channel? What if we make it so that everybody then joins in? Because it was me that came up with the idea. Elephant in the room. And I'll tell you why I named it Elephant in the Room was because hidden numismatic has got a thing about pachyderms. He calls them pachyderms. Because I asked him one day, what's a pachyderm? An elephant. I went, And hold on a minute, I pachyderm because they live in a pack. Right, that's why I call them pachyderms. And I was like, ah, doing group, live chat on YouTube. Oh, everybody's. I always do an open panel, and I'll always pin. Like when you come in, you should have seen one that was pinned to the top. That's actually a link. That's actually a link to come on panel. I leave an open panel. I always have done an open panel. But as I said, I can. When you come up on a live panel, I can reject you as in where I want you to come up or not, as in behind, because you're then behind the scenes. But because I, I'm not sure who you are at the moment. Look up, Restream program. You can stream on all channels and networks. Silver Strike, what has it got a website? Has it got a website? What's the website address? What's the website address for that? Look up Restream program because the StreamYard's wanting, if you want to pre-record StreamYards, they want you to upgrade their account. They want you to upgrade your account. But I know that this goes out. If I end it, even if I end it, I can actually either leave it broadcast to my YouTube channel, but it should also go to Facebook. But I don't know if you have to have it as in linked to go to Facebook. But if you give me that website, if you put, as I said to you, leave it in a comment. Leave it in a comment. Because it would be nice to thing me. Because I had a company that came to me and they went, we want you to do a product review. We've seen a video. And I was like, what video have you seen? What video have you seen? What video are you talking about? I says, you need to actually let me see the video or the video that you're talking about, because you're just telling me you seen a video, you like the way I did it, but you're not telling me what is the product. And what they wanted me to do was do product reviews, but I actually turned it down because I says to them, will I get paid? Will I get paid off of yous? And they went, no, we'll let you have the product. But do you want me to do a product review on cases or whatever or accessories for phones? I'm going to be brutally honest with you. As in, if I don't like the product, I'm not going to sell it to anybody else. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm not going to sell shite to somebody else. As in, if the product's no good, I'm going to say it's no good and why I feel it's no good. And I thought it's not beneficial to my own supporters. So what's the point? But I'm interested in what you've just said about that restream program. If it does it to all channels and networks, I like the sound of that. No, because if you tweeted it if you've actually shared it, you've went and shared my video on your thing with Twitter, and whatever you put on the top of it, they click on that link, it'll take them straight to you. It'll take them straight to YouTube. And if I actually ding me as in share my miss one and put it to my Facebook, pin it to my Facebook, they can actually go on the bottom of it and they click on it. But I like that idea of what you've just said about that restream program. If I can use that restream program and actually use the equipment for that, and then hang me it streams it to all different platforms, that's even better. No, they weren't asking for money. I asked them if I was getting paid for doing it, and they were like, "No, we you get the, to keep the product, to keep the product." Because I've seen Top Don send a lot of products out. A lot of the people that's doing the cars and all that car, and I see Top Don as the one, but they've got a jump starting pack, and people's used it and they went it's something else. It's like 80 odd, it's like something like 80 odd pound or something like that. And Retro Restore done one on a something an air fryer just recently, an air fryer. I'll put it on the newer Chromebook because this one the automatic updates finished for it, so I'm still using the old Chromebook.
Okay, here's your coffee.
So
I'll leave it there. Can you reach it there, right?
aye.
Right.
No, because it's good to know about something that I didn't know about, and especially somebody picking me up and saying, "By the way, there's something that you didn't know," because that's a valuable piece. That's a valuable piece of information you just gave me. That might help to get me out further. These people were wanting to actually send me products for China or wherever it was coming from and send me it free gratis, but they wanted me to product review it for them. I had it emailed and I was like, I don't know if this is real or not. I was like, I don't know if this is real or not. And I was like, is this real? And I was like, 3 or 4 emails I sent them back, as in back and forward. And I was like, well, do I get paid for it? I was like, because if I get paid for it, then I'm getting money. Because I don't work full time. So I was like, well, if I can get something to support the channel or whatever, or support a sponsor or whatever, if they're sponsoring or they're paying for me to do it, then I don't mind doing the product review. But I'm going to be honest with the product review and tell you, well, this is not good. I don't like this product and why I don't like it. Because they wanted me to product review it so that then other people bought it. Because they all know what they all know that social media works, social advertising. It's like it's like me going and publishing a book and nobody knowing about that book, and I say, by the way, I've just wrote this book. I've just wrote this book. And then people go, well, what's the book about? Well, it's about a guy who has experienced life and he's telling you stories about his experience in his past. But that's you selling it to everybody else as a product that nobody has and they want it. They need it. They need that product. Or these big companies, these big companies, this is what they do. They get somebody that they think is famous, that is got an audience, got a built up audience. You got a built up audience and they go, this guy's good. We need him. We need him. But they pick them, especially they pick certain ones out. And that's what I noticed about Top Don. Top Don's done the same. Anybody they've seen channels that are doing cars, in about cars or whatever, and they've actually sent them and said, can you try this product? Can you actually try this product? Even if you do a video with it, as long as you leave a link on the video, I think I've got Twitter, but I just don't use it. I just don't use it because a friend of mine's Hell's Kitten helped me add the. She actually gave me the. What she done was Hell's Kitten went away and found Hell's Kittens went away and found my the URL link for the Facebook. It says this is what you need to do. So she found the link, and I says, "Well, do I need to write that on?" She went, "You need to write the whole thing in, Alec." As in, but what you do is you add it to the add it to your. There's a section in your YouTube, and you add it, and it lets you add like eight different things, and that's how, because you've got to put the URL, and then what it does is it attaches it, it links it, and that's what it did. But she went looking, and she goes, "You've got a Twitter account, you've got this account, you've got that account." I went, "I don't really use them. I tend to use Facebook. I tend to use Silver Stripe. I'm never off a. I'm never off a. I'm never off a. I'm never off of Facebook. I don't know because I'm not looking the YouTube side, so I don't know how. Is it cutting on and is it cutting on and cutting off? Is the volume going up and down all the time? Or is it freeze framing? Is it down freeze frame? So, so you're saying that if Twitter get a better following, because people started telling me about TikTok. I started doing a couple of videos for TikTok, but to be a TikTok creator, you needed like you needed like 1,000 followers for it, because the videos that you can put on TikTok when you've not got 1,000 followers, you can only put like a 30-second video or something like that on. That's all you can put on it. But I don't have a lot of friends and family on Facebook, so a lot of people don't see the stuff on Facebook. Because sometimes you've got to do it manually to Facebook to share it out. No, I'm taking the information in, what you're saying to me. I'm taking it in. Because I'm like, well, I don't care if there's only one watcher and somebody's talking in the chat. I'm reading what they're putting in the chat, and I'm waiting for your next. I'm waiting for your next response. The thing is, as in, I would need to edit it. I'd need to edit certain things, as in, like, say for instance, I done a live. I would need to shorten them, as in, so that they're sort of that short. But they were just sort of. I was like, well, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and it was like doing it behind the. What happened was Silver Stripe. I was doing it behind the scenes, and I was like, I wonder if other people would like that, would be interested in that. And I'm like, to myself, I thought, I wonder how you do this shorts. And I'm like, I want to give it a try. And I thought to myself, why not fucking put that or this on? And I was like, so I'm like, I'm showing the one with the Samsung, right? Because that was the first one, the Samsung. And I thought, hold on a minute. I was like, I done that in the tablet. Because it's Samsung tablet. Done it in tablet. Because I've got the same account on the tablet. And I was through next door, and I was like, hold on a minute. I was like, because I named it how to fix. What was it? How to fix how to fix a cracked digitizer, and I was like that with it, and I'm showing the crack on it, and see as you see me panning round, that's me showing you the part as in me with the used. That's a used part. That's not a brand new part. Me panning round the thing me quick like that, and I thought this is, and I thought the title, just the title alone, I thought brilliant idea. The title, I thought that's clickbait, and I thought it's clickbait in its own. I thought, but they're going to have to think about the title or the way you've titled it, but it might create the view. I thought it might create the views. I thought it might create the views, and I think it did. It did do it because it was like 365 views in like 3 day in like 3 days. Like about a 3 day peak. It was like only 3 days. 3 days, and I seen it go up, and it was still going up. It was still going up, and I was like, 365 views. It's got 600. I think on Facebook it's got like 630. I think like 635 views, and I was like, yeah, you dancer, and I was like, what? I'm thinking to myself, how come? How come I'm looking at the analytics on the YouTube channel, right? My YouTube channel, and I'm only seeing 125 views, 215 views, 18 views in this, 20 views in that, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's got 365 views. How come that's got more views than any of them? Well done. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Somebody that's done better. I'm not jealous of that. I'm like, if they can do it, I must be able to achieve that. And that makes me feel like they've done this and they've proved it can be done. It can be done. And you see that achievement that they've done, and you're like, I wonder if I can, because you're like, you want to see the video, right? The way it's done and how it's done. And then you look at it and you think, I can adapt that. I can adapt that video. I can put my own style on that video. My own style on that video. Although that person's done it, so you're copying somebody else's style, but you're like, you want to create your own unique way of doing it, but you just want to take the little bits away from it, and you're like, take that wee bit, take this wee bit, and just do that bit. But that's something. The best video that I've did, and it's still doing well. I can't remember if it's the kick butt challenge or the other one, and I just did that, and it's the very first video I ever done on Thingy on feet on YouTube, and all I done was done that, like that, and the boys that I got off of that first video, I was like, would I do the same? I was like, took me about a week or about a month before I did the next one, because I'm like, did I do it again? Did I do it again? Did I do something? No, I just put them live with Ding Me. I go into the YouTube studio. I go into the YouTube studio, but I don't do any editing. I don't do Silver Strike. I don't do any editing. The way I put the video out, even if I make mistakes in it, I just leave it that way and just put it out. I just click on it, upload it, do it. I only do a video. I'll do something one time and see if it cuts out or it doesn't. Or say for instance my computer, and I think that camera's running live or camera's running, and I go to stop that, and that video's not there. I can't do it again. People's like, do it over and over and over again. Keep repeating it and tell me till it's right. Till it's right. I can't do that. I do one video or one video or something I want to do. I have it in my head. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is how I feel. This is how I feel at the time. And I'll put it up. And I'll just run with it. And even if you hear me stuttering or saying it 3 times over, I'll leave it in. I don't edit anything out it. Because somebody says to me, "What do you know? What somebody told me? Somebody told me, keep it real." And I'm sitting in my head thinking, this person says keep it real. How do you do that? How do you do that? Keep it real. It means don't be two different people on the camera. To keep it real is to be yourself. Be a genuine person, be yourself. Right? So when I thought about it, I was like, right, let's keep it real. Right? I'm going to keep it real. I was like, I'm not going to edit. I've seen people edit bits out, and I'm like, why are you editing bits out now? Because there's mistakes in it, because you don't want any bits in it. Because that's. But then, the longer you make a video, some people don't want to watch a full video. They only watch 10 seconds. 10 seconds, and if you haven't captured them within that 10 seconds, they switch off. Don't want to watch that. But then they'll watch bits and pieces, and then they'll come back with information, or they'll make a video about somebody, another YouTuber, and say, "Oh, they've said this and they've said that." No, because you've skipped parts of the video. You've not listened to the full story or the full thing from start to finish. It's like I'm watching like Salvage G Build UK, right? And I watch their video constant for the start of the video to the end of it. But if I don't like a bit in their video, I'll just switch off and leave it there until I go back to it, and then I go back to it when I feel in the mood. I keep my live gaming, don't cut it. But I do. Wait, nice one. See, when you're saying about gaming, I'm wondering if you're a certain person, but I'm thinking, is it or isn't it? You weren't called Silveretto at one, Silveretto at one, Silveretto at one time, or Gold something. Aye, I've done long hours. I've seen me do 4 hours. I've seen me do 4 hours because I'm only on the basic package for StreamYards. I get 20 hours a month. 20 hours a month. That's all I'm allowed to. 20 hours a month. I thought you might have been Tony. I thought he might have been Tony because Tony's changed his name so many times. I thought it was something. It was something he said, and it started triggering as in who you actually were, where I actually knew you, and I was like, hold on a minute, and I was like trying to think because there's John as well, John as well. There was a little guy who I knew, and he was Gas Nation, knew him well. Gas Nation. Can't remember his bloody name. Wee guy with glasses, he put you in. He looked like Joe 90. He looked like Joe 90. He looked like Joe 90. That's who he put you in mind of. Little Joe 90. Little Joe 90. Blonde. It's only about 4 foot odd. 5 foot odd. But what I'm saying is, Silverstight, I've got nothing against you, but what I'm trying to think of, who that I know that you know, that's what I'm trying to think in my head. Do I know this person? Have I actually went on his channel before? Have I actually ever supported his channel and that's why he's come here? Or did somebody that you knew, or did you just see the live and thought, I wonder if that's live? Because it should say up in the top. See, you look on YouTube, it should say on it live, as in live. Because the only way it wouldn't be live is if it just finished. Cause I see me sometimes 3-4 hours go for. Cause I start to get, it's like I start talking and I can't stop and I just keep going and keep going and keep going. Cause it's probably because it's like I know Hector, I know it's me Brian, I know Melissa, which is heavy corgis and coins. I know hidden numismatic, lemonhead penny, Miss Canadian scrapper, um, snobby scrap picker, Ralph Scrapper, Ralph Mornick, Jimmy C and Friend, Jimmy C and Friends, um, you've got Cab 7, Fireman CV, Green Bay Wacky, Lunatic Dad, Gemma Grace, Gas Nation, um, Mark's Mark Stone. You'll find that because the Americans love the Americans love the British accent. The Americans love the British accent. They fall for the British accent. But sometimes some of them don't pick you up as quick because if you go too fast for them, they can't catch on because they only hear like the last three things you've said. So you've got to slow down your talking. And sometimes I forget that. I go like a speed, like a railway train, and I forget to slow down because Scottish are like that. They're like rabbit, constant rabbit. But that's the way they're in their own people. That's what they're like. They constantly do that and they can understand each other. But when somebody else comes over here, to them, it's like gobbledygook. And we forget that we have to slow down for them to catch on, for them to actually be able to listen in, to tune into you. Of course. The history they like. Aye, because they've got a coin like on one of their coins they've got Alexander Graham Bell, but it's part of history. Now I'm not going to turn around and say that it shouldn't be on their coin. I wouldn't say that. They're allowed to put the designs they want to put on the coin, but I don't remember Alexander Graham Bell ever being as an American. I always remember him as British. Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. And I'm like, somebody went like that with the reverse of the coin, right? Went like that with the reverse of the coin. And that's telephone that's on that. Exactly, silver stripe. They use a lot of silver. Yeah, yeah, because you did thing with the something about the fortress temple or something like that, or some kind of fortress or something, and they put it in the vaults for years and years and years, and this thing's a massive vault. The thing and it's like a treasury or something. Because a lot of your coins, you took the silver out of it after so many years. I think yours goes like there's coins is like certain years are like 90%, and then there's ones that are 40%. I've got $half. Obviously, I've not put it this way. I've not just got weeks. I've got all sorts. I've got all sorts in here. I've got as in proofs. I've got MSMs sets. I've got Canadian. Canadian. I would love to see that big tower. A big, I believe you, a big tower with no doors on it. I bet you it's security. I bet you it's securityed up like Fort Knox. Oh, that's what they talk about, Fort Knox. But I didn't know it didn't have any doors on it. There's a few things. There's a few guys on Facebook and they're good There's a few guys on Facebook they're good they're good they're good hackers, but they're not in it for a scam people. They're in it to actually. There's a few of them on the group, as in within the mobile phone lot technicians. There's a couple. I think there's about 2 or 3 of them, and they're hackers, and they actually fix the. If you get a lot of Facebook account, and you can't get into it on it. They actually can find a way in, and I didn't know nothing about them. And it wasn't until I was in the group and I seen this one come up, and they'd been mentioned quite a few times. And I, the hell is he? But the information all comes through as in telling you exactly everything he did. And I'm like, because I don't know nothing about. They said that I've been told that you're not allowed to share the software that's within the boxes. So I don't have an online. I don't have an online. I don't have an online server. But a lot of them, what they do is they share files with each other, as in with the firmware for the phones and all that. Because when you read the file, it becomes a dump file. You think that a dump file means you have to dump it. It's no, they call them. That's what they're called. They're called a dump file. But you save it as a temporary file to your laptop. And then what you do is you go and find the stock ROM file and you put a fresh file on it. But the way you have to do it is you have to take the IMEI number from the old temporary folder and copy and paste it to the new one. Exactly, Silver Stripe. You've got it in one. Exactly. You don't. That's the thing. If you see a hacker, you don't know they're going to hack you. Exactly. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that, buddy. But I know that's why I'm like, like that. I'm like, I don't like because you can. That's what they did. They did like a team viewer. There's like a team viewer on the boxes. A team viewer, and there's like a unique identification number, and you go to somebody else and they'll help you. But that's what they do with these. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't. I'm always worried about what you just said. I was like, no, I want mine. I wanted my own equipment. I wanted my own equipment so I could do the job. So that if I did get a phone in, because sometimes from my source, I'll get a phone in and he'll say to me, it powers up. I'll turn it on, and sometimes, like, there's a pin code on it, and because he's not got the user's identification or information, we can't get the pin code off. But I can with the machine. But I do a lot of them. A lot of the phones manually if I can get into the boot system. But if it's corrupt, what'll happen is the phone will either do a bootloader error, and it'll tell you there's a bootload error and it's a corrupt file. And that's when you got to use the equipment to figure out how to get rid of it. And that's why I bought the equipment, because I was like, I want to understand that equipment. I want to be able to do it myself in house, everything in house, instead of me having to put it out. Because a friend of mine's that got me into the mobile phone doing it. We were up at his shop one day. That's how I was trying to tell a story. I was at his shop one day. Dad got the phone, swapped the phone over. This is how we got on town with the guy. And we used to take stuff up to him that we couldn't do ourselves, as in maybe a phone or whatever. Take 3, 4 phones in at a time. And he says to me one day, we didn't know he was packing it in. He owed a lot of people money, but we didn't know this, what was going on behind the scenes, because he wouldn't tell you, because some people are like that. And he was going to give it up. And I was been searching on the internet. There was one called a Nokia. They called it a way back. They called it the Nokia Black Magic Box. And I says to him, "You using Nokia's box? This box?" I says, "But I know it. It's called Nokia Black Box." He goes, "Can I show you? Can I tell you?" Says, but he says to me, while I'm standing there, he says to me, "Why not preparing them yourself?" And I looked at him and I went, "Never done it before." And he went, "That thing you've just asked me about," he went, "look in the round ball." He says to me, "Look in the round ball." That's why he said to me, "Look in the round ball." And back in 98 or 90s, late 90s, internet was just starting around about the 90s. This was 90 odd, 90s, doing about, I think it was 96, 97, around about 96, 97, 97. I'm like, a round ball? What the hell around a round ball? And I'm thinking in my mind, round ball? That's round ball? What did he mean by round ball? Globe. And I thought about a globe, round ball. I was like, internet, fucking internet. I was like, internet. I was like, I see he's telling me internet, right? Internet. And this is when I started repairing Motorola M3788s back then, because we were getting them in, right? And I bought 3 or 4 of them, and they all had the same problem. And I thought, I can't understand why is these all 3 of them's got the same problem. So I'm putting in the charger, I puts in the charger, and this one's finicky. And I thought, why is that finicky? I found out that they were tending to break on the charging ports. There was the way the Motorola's went, right? You had the Motorola M378, so they're about that and they're a big stick hero, right? Back then, so you're talking about, this is when it went, because it was analogue, then it went to digital, right? Which you put a SIM card in, right? So £55, £60 for these things, right? And I was picking them up for 5, 10, £8, something like that back then. They were big long things, right? But the charging ports, there was like a hole drilled in to the side of them, or the bottom of them, and you stuck it was like a long, thin charging pin, about that long, a black bottom on it, a black one, and you stuck it into it. But I found that they were actually, the charging port were breaking off them, right? So I get this solder there, right? The old man's tools daft, right? Load tools in the so I'm looking at this thing and I sees on the charging port there's ICs or resistor and an IC, and there's about 3 of them here, and there's 4 legs and there's 2 like that, right? So there's a leg there coming down off the charging port, a leg there, and 2 legs at the one leg there. So there's actually 4 of them, like 2 in the front and 2 in the back. But there's one that's sitting like that, right? And this is the main one. There's a main one like that, and it's hooking like that, right? Right at the front. Something like that. The soldering iron, the tip of it was too big. Something like that. hell am I going to do with this tip? So I got a bloody file, right? Bloody filed all the tip. I filed the tip, sat there, filed the tip, and I got solder, right? I got heavy, thick solder, and I dropped it on it, and I left it for about 2 days, right, to harden the solder on it on the tip, because I'm like, solder's the important part of the tip, because if you've not enough solder on the tip, you burn the tips out, you actually can burn the tips out, you can actually crack the tips, but you harden them up by using solder. So I can drop plenty of solder in it, and I sat and filed it all, filed it all, and I made it into this the tip for doing them, for doing the old Motorola's. But I stopped doing the old Motorola's because the Motorola's there's no money. There's no money in there's no money in the older stuff. I still mess about with the Nokias and all that car on. It's usually all the digital. I usually go for the digital. I usually go for everything that's digital. And it's like digital cameras. See if it's as long as it's got a digital. There's one there. Into my digital camera. As soon as it's digital camera. That's what I'm saying. I pack them up for £2-3 a time. £4. I used to go at a guy in a thing. My son used to run on a Sunday, and he'd go like that to me. I say to him, "You got my bag? You got my bag? You got my bag? You got my bag of stuff?" It's in a car. It was an Egyptian alley. Up the car boot seal. Like that. You go, motor, I'll bring it out. So bring it out in motor. Yeah, dump it like that. And walk away from us. And he's serving other people or whatever. And I just go like that, open the bag. Take a quick look through it. And I just go like that, put my hands in it, go like that. Dig it down a bit. Look in it. Spot something that I liked in the bag and go like that to him. Right, much is the thing, much is a lot. And then he go like that to me. You dump it but thing me carefully dump them on the ground as in the car boot sale up at Blockhearn Fruit Market. And he'd take them out and he'd go like that. And he'd be counting them. Maybe about 15, 20 phones there. He always used to fling me, what he used to do was he used to fling me in as in free bits. Every now and again, free bits, and he'd be like that. Free at the end, but he'd be like that counting, and I'd be like, fucking hell, it's gonna cost me a bloody fortune today. And I'm like that, and I'm sitting there and I'm hearing them like that, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 15. I'm like, oh no, what's the thing? What's he gonna say? And then I go like that, and I see him standing there like that. Give me 50. Give me 50. Give me 50. I sit there and I used to always haggle with him all the time. But take 30. I just come up with a rough figure, counting them in my head and like that. And take 30. No. But we'd never ever fight about the price. It will always trying to get to a fair price or an agreement price, and he'd be like happy 42 or something like that. He'd go like that. I'd say, they'd say 50, and I go like that. Give 45 or 47. Aye. I just got that in my top pocket because I used to put it in my inside pocket. Did about £100 with the car boots still. Well, aye, that's 40 quid. That's 40 quid. Because I used to just take them up the road. But back then I was doing them for like £2-3 a phone. Now it's on eBay. It's not as good as what it used to be on eBay at all. As in eBay, when they went their own separate ways with PayPal, as in they've still got. Don't get me wrong, they've still got PayPal in their system, right? But PayPal has nothing to do with eBay. eBay has went their own separate way. eBay's stipulating the way they want to run the show. So what they're doing is that you have to have a main bank account set up with them, a main account with them to actually sell. It's alright for buying on eBay. But to actually sell on eBay, you need a main account, and they're actually thing me as in retaining. When a customer buys off of you, they put it into like a it's like a retaining account or a holding account. They put it into it, but they tell you exactly what day it's coming, what day you're going to get paid. So it could be like, say for instance, you paid me like 2 days time, right? So you'd pay 2 days time. I've got to still send you that phone out, although that they're retaining they've retained the money. The old 2000 phone sale. Well, a friend of mine's as and look on a guy's called he's got a so it's right, look at a guy's channel. He's called Vintage something Vintage. That's it. I'm sure it's under Vintage Archive, or you look on eBay and look for a user ID called Black Rim. Black Rim. It's got a Blackberry, it looks like a Blackberry logo. Look at the prices that he asks for stuff. And he gets it. He gets it. Like them I've got about four Samsung A800s, I think they're on orange. Now he retails them at I think it's like £15 each. Or £15 each or something like that. So there is when you ask about as in 2000 stuff, that's good. That's what George was saying to me. George, who is Blackberry Rim, he was telling me that the older stuff, the value of the older stuff is going up. Is actually going up in price. Is actually It's actually going up in price. They're actually going up in price. I just think I just want to turn silver side. I just want to turn things. I've the listing, the part that I don't, the part that I feel that I try and body swerve is listing them. I don't mind the fixing them and getting them ready. As in that, well, hold on, let me show you. I'll show you stuff that's been as in it's all done. It's all ready to rock and roll. As in basically ready to rock and roll. I think it's because I've got to find through this. Everything's falling off that chair. Stuff on that chair. When they came in, they didn't power up. Well, I didn't do them up, but there wasn't. I didn't buy. I didn't get them a charger. I didn't get them a charger. I didn't get them a charger. An old Motorola V50s. That's what I'm saying. So that would if I had to put that on without powering up, or I couldn't power that up. If I put that on untested, it's only worth a couple of pound because it's you can't if you can't test it and see that it powers up, right? Basically scrap value. Scrap value. It's worth only scrap value. I'll probably stick on because I'm going to do them thing, and I'm going to do them as a pair because I'll show them. I'll show it pairing up. I'll probably put it because I've paid what I think it was £9 or something like that for a. It's not even a. It's a card, one for the car one for the car charger. But that's what I'm saying. That's because that's camera. But I picked these. I picked these ones up for. I picked them up for about I think £2 each or something like that. I think about £2, £2, and the postage was I think less than £2 each. I think it was about £4, £4, £4, and then the thing they cost me like £3. I think it was like £3 odd for a battery. I think it was about £4 odd. I put them out about. They probably go out about 10 each. As in 10 each. They probably that's about about £20. I probably did it because what I'm thinking in my own head is the thing with eBay is a lot of them's now cottoned on to the free postage and packaging, but there isn't a thing, or there isn't such a thing as free postage and packaging. It's basically put on the price of what they're asking on the starting price. There's a lot of phones put on as a scrap recovery, as in scrap gold. But you have to have a lot of phones because I sat and looked out with a couple of scrapping boys. It was like a system one. This is how many phones do you think it would? How many phones would it take us to get at least a gram of gold, a gram of gold, a gram of gold? One of them turns in and says, I think about it. You're probably talking about at least 13 or 14 phones. I thought that's a lot of phones, isn't it? You strip, so you've got a lot of. You strip everything down because everything. Aye, because you're at least it's if you say you put it on for 20, say for instance eBay for 20, right? But you're £5 odd, you're £5 on, you're about £4 odd in postage and packaging if you're doing it recorded. Because every time I do a package, I tend to do a recorded delivery so that I've got a number, a tracking number, so that I can put that in the system and put a tracking number against that item. So I know that tracking number's against it. So if they lose it, I know we can track that. It came because you can track it for where it started off to whether it was delivered, whether it was delivered. But the thing is, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a lot of. I was going to do a video. I was going to show the process of buying one in. But what happened is the one that I bought in, it was on the charger. It was actually on the charge. It was actually on the charger. This is what happened. I'll tell you the story. Making the video, and I showed the first part of the video, and I'm showing how I bought it on eBay, and I had it on the charger, and I had it sitting in the hall, and as I went back to the charger, the phone's gone like that. It's gone like that, and it's flickering like that. And it was going and off, on and off. It was actually shutting itself down, and it was going on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And if you left it a certain weight, you seen it flicker. It was doing that. It was flickering, and I thought, you bugger. I'd bought it in as it was sold is untested but had a fault. So when I seen it, it was too clean, and I thought that phone, even though it says untested, but it's still saying it's faulty. It was sold as spares of repair, so it was sold as untested because there was no power in it, right? But it was too clean, and I'm like, it might not have the fault. It might not even be there. But when I was testing it, and I put it on the charger and I put a half decent battery in it because I stole the battery. I didn't steal the battery. I took a battery for another one and put it into that one to see if it would work. And when I was testing it, I found it had a problem, and that's how I couldn't do the next part of the video because I was like, it's no, I can't do the full video. I can't do the full part. The part two of the video. I wonder if there's a website you can buy old motherboards for the old phones. What is it you're looking for? It depends what model you're looking. It depends what one you're looking for, and it depends what model you're looking for. Because I might be able to help you in that one. Because I keep a bag, a few boxes. I've got a few boxes full of spares. Because sometimes we come across, maybe say you might buy, as I said, you might buy 30 phones, and you might get maybe 10, 15 phones that are working, or that's sort of, it's a case of, well, I need to test further, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I need to make sure of that. There's a lot of process you've got to go through to make sure, is it fully working? Is it this? Is it then that? And the ding is ding before you even. I go, as mum says, I go too far. I go too far in depth. As in my phones, I go over the score. I don't know when to stop. I've seen me taking phones for China, and I took. I've got three Samsungs, right? I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you. They both the boards are Samsung S3s, right? So I had, I think, in the end up there was six. There was six. There was three with damaged. There was three with damaged digitizers, and two were dead. Two were totally dead. Two dead, totally dead. Bit of batter in them. Nah, no life at them. I looked at them. I went, bet you they've got a good digitizer and screen. But the thing is, I had to mix them. I had to mix them. I had to, I had to mix them. I had to mix them in with as and ones that had the IMEI number in the back of them, because when I put them back together again, I didn't, because they put this on Samsungs. You've got the digitizer, you get the LCD, because the LCD sits underneath it. Now there's a ribbon. There's a ribbon that goes this way for the digitizer, goes up that way for the digitizer, which connects with a little ribbon, but sometimes it connects to another connection underneath the screen, which the screens get like a a sport in its own, or a ribbon. But on the ribbon, it's got LCD, it's got little resistors and the rest. It's like a control board. And then what happens is there's a ribbon that comes round this way, and it's on the metal, It's like that, and it's on the metal. It's on the metal. It's like a metal ribbon, or it's like a bit of metal, or it's got a connector, and there's a ribbon, and the ribbon goes round like that. Now on the Samsung S3s, there's a metal plate, there's a metal backing. Now to get the digitizer up off of the Samsungs, you have to take a heat gun, and you've got to take the digitizer front way. You can't take it back way. So when I took the parts from them, I didn't take the serial number for the the for the used digitizers that I was going to use. So they've got the wrong IMEI number when you look at it. So the board is at a different. The board is at it's the same. It's the SD model, but the IMEI number doesn't match up to the sticker that's inside them. So I packed them with another set, as in a Nokia's. I put a Nokia with a Samsung because it was the same USB. It was a micro USB charger. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to put one charger with that phone or with that pair, because I had a customer, or it, it was it was a potential sale. And what happened is the sale fell through because he says you didn't put in the description, you didn't disclose in the description, it didn't come with a charger. So what I did was I started buying chargers on eBay so I could put a charger with a phone. Because then I thought about, what if it was me as a customer, and I say for instance I bought that phone, and by the time I got that phone doesn't power on. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go on and message that person and say, by the way, that phone doesn't work. But he's telling you, or the seller's telling you that the phone works. Now he's powered it up, but the power's not there. But you don't have a charger to charge it up. So I thought, well, what if I gave them threw in a charger with a pair of phones? I thought, but the weight is going to pull it up a bit. But then you cover yourself for your weight. But then you've got to still get, when you see about eBay, you still got a listing fee. So they still take a commission off you, as in the listing fee. Plus also you've got a PayPal. Plus you've also got a PayPal's fee off of that. So you've got, I think it's like 5% or 3%. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 5% off of that. So that £20 does not end up £20 by the time it's finished. You might only get 11 or £12 back for that thing you put on for £20, for £20. But then people want it people want it as in their expectations are a lot higher when they first see it, because they only look at a picture and they go, "Oh, that phone I hang me, that's the phone I want." But they don't read the description, because your description is your disclaimer. It tells you exactly what the seller said about that phone. If you've got things to do, Silver's right, that's fine. But you're more than welcome to come. You're more than welcome to come on the channel anytime. Because I sometimes do videos. It depends if I. Because I thought to myself, I need to do this. I need to stop. Because I'm like, I'm like, I'm being like 6 days ago with the channel. I thought people's going to start not coming, and I'm like, no, but as I'm saying, the whole idea of the YouTube channel was going to be talks about mobile phones, but then it ended up that I went off on a different tangent altogether, and it ended up being coins. But nobody realizes that I'm still learning about this stuff. I'm still learning about coins. I don't know enough about coins. That stuff I know more about. Stuff that is my holy grail. That's my passion. That's my that's my forte. That's my forte. But I didn't say that I was a coin. I didn't say I was a coin connoisseur, or I was, or I was, or I was, or I was so knowledgeable about coins. Didn't say. I never said that. I never said that. I like buying for auctions. Always have done. My father did it. My great grandfather was a hawk. My great grandfather was a hawker before him. So it stemmed in the family. Dad was a spray painter panel. Dad was a spray painter panel beater. I just couldn't get into his trade. I wanted to be a mechanic. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do mechanics. Dad says, "Nah, son," he says, "it's a dying death. Dying death." He says, "It's a dying trade. Dying trade." He says, "Don't want to be in it." But then when they started doing me as in the tests for it, like when you go into these places, they do a test with you, and if you can't pass the test, you can't pass the test. They don't let you in even for an apprenticeship, and that's why. But I ended up doing that. I ended up doing valeting for a guy, and then I ended up went into production operator, being general dog's body, and I was like, I'm not going up any grades. I'm like, what do I really want to do in life? And then I fell onto this. I fell onto mobile phones, as I said, back in '98, and I've been doing it ever since as a hobby. Always have done. But when I ended up with the leg and my health and all the rest, I was like, I think I'll put money into the hobby. That's what I started doing. Started researching all these boxes and how they worked and how they function. Spent about 6 months. Spent about 6 months. And my head was like that. Was like ready to explode. And I was like, what box is what? And what does this? And what does this? And what does that? And then all of a sudden, what happened is I was sitting in one of the epiphany moments, and just I remember my dad messing about with radios, like the Hacker Heralds and all that car on, which was 9 volt radios. And I thought, hold on a minute. There was this RX and TX, and I was like, that's receiver, and I was like, I was like, RX, that's receiver, and I was like, TX, that's transmitter. And then I'm looking at the box and I'm going, and I see this MHZ. That's megahertz. I'm like, that's megahertz. I was like, that's radio. That's radio stuff. So that's radio stuff. It was like, so a phone's basically like a radio, like a radio. I was like, fucking hell. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I started, it was in tears. It was like in tears. I was like, my dad's gave me this gave me this thing, this knowledge, this book. It's like a book of knowledge in my head. Like all of a sudden in one night. And I was like, fucking hell. It was like, no wonder. It was like, no wonder. But it takes me a while. It takes me a while with like these phones. I don't just pick them out like right away. I take my time, rebuilding stuff and sorting them out and try to figure out what's wrong and what's right and what's that and why is this doing this and why is that not doing that and all the questions. Gonna see you later. Is Phil guy still here or hang me or is everybody away now? Have I showed everybody away now? Because I didn't do everybody likes when you say 3JW. What was that he said? What did I hear right? Was that what did I hear right what he said? A 3JW was no? Aye. Oh well. Anyway, maybe yeah. Bye, Phil guys.